So we're on time.
yeah, that explains why he got 150 points.
Who didn't have a day? Tyreek Hill.
And I'm so happy because
I
I
know.
said as long as that brother stayed out of the end zone, I was good.
Yeah, and he did.
Throw it to Waddle. Waddle,
So he
waddle,
can do the
waddle.
waddle.
Waddle, baby, waddle, baby, waddle, baby.
Yes.
Ew.
Nice. StreamYard says we're up. Message went out through Stream Elements on Twitch. Hopefully Facebook is doing its Facebook thing. I have. Oh yeah, I lost where our intro went. I have no notes up as usual because why start now? Hello, Sarah.
So I kind of felt watching the game because the Hendersons had their Vikings against my Giants this week.
Yes.
And the Giants have this real bad habit of losing on the last play of the game on these ridiculously long field goals. So when I saw this guy line up for the 61-yarder, I said, he's going to fucking drill this, and we're going to lose on the last play of the game, especially since it was inside.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy whose team loses on punt returns in the last second of a game.
Yeah, that was crazy. That might have been the craziest win out of the entire season in the NFL.
And it was in division.
Well, no, I will take that back.
Oh,
the
no, the
craziest
New England
win
game
was that
last week?
Raiders. Yeah, that Raiders thing.
All right.
I watched replay of that, and all I could think of was, what the fuck was that guy doing?
Yep. He was losing the game is what he was doing.
And that is why they shouldn't allow sports betting, because I guarantee somebody placed a bet for that motherfucker under a different name so he doesn't get suspended, and he made bank.
The Pete Rose method.
The Vikings are crazy this year. They're like 11-0 in one score games. Mm-hmm. And you're doing all of this with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback.
Yep.
So I
You're
don't
lucky
get
John's
it.
not here yet. He would be bad mouthing you.
Look, you can. I think what the Vikings have done this year is pretty magical as far as their ability to win games. They can't play defense, which is the reason why they have to win these one-score games, because their defense doesn't really stop anybody. And Kirk Cousins, they win despite him. I could throw to Jefferson and get 300 yards a game because they throw the guy the ball 46 times a game.
Well, he's the best receiver in the NFL, so.
Why would you not double team him every down?
Because that's when Adam Thielen and KJ Osborne come out of the
They
woodwork.
don't even throw to Adam Thielen anymore.
No, they don't need to. That's what I'm saying.
Adam Thielen probably doesn't even remember how to catch a ball since they never throw to him anymore. And I had Ryman and Thielen for a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
He was my number one receiver.
Yeah, just not now.
Justin Jefferson might get 2,000 yards receiving this year. Nobody's ever done that.
He might have it.
He
might.
You know what he needs? He needs I think he needs like 144 yards or something.
You can get that in the first half next week.
He probably would.
All right, let's do this fucking thing.
Yeah, I got everything open. I'm good to go here. So let
All
me
right.
just get my opening fill here. Not to be confused with Bill to Phil.
No,
So
that's a whole different hat.
that's a different Phil.
That's a hat
spelled
of a different
differently.
color.
Ah, that's a horse of a different color.
Indeed.
Why didn't you say something?
All right, you have your opening, Phil?
Yes.
All right, then I'm going to give you a 5 in Shri. Woo's your mama?
This week on the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast, we bring you nerd stuff, Family Feud, Twizzle, UTF'd up, a party in the library, we take a trip to the Biggieverse, and bring you new music from CL Smooth and Peter Guns. What else? Let's listen.
It's not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
What's going on? You are now about to witness Trent 399.
At the count of 3, I want you to tell me the name of my name. It's 1, 2, 3.
And now, here's your host, Bill Winters, and Mr. Throwback Thursday himself, George Robinson.
And a very nice greeting to everybody in the podcast world. Welcome to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 465, the first episode after the entire holiday season. So whether you celebrated Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or Festivus, I hope you enjoyed your celebration. Or Festivus, I hope you enjoyed your celebrations. It is now time to celebrate classic hip-hop music with your two favorite idiots, Bill up in New York, Jamie down in Virginia. Merry Christmas, my friend. How you doing?
Merry Christmas. I am well. It is day after Christmas as we record, because we weren't going to record on Christmas. We were a little busy.
Doing Christmas things.
Yes. And I want to say, I was watching some of our people, the posse members on Facebook. There was a lot of hip-hop gift giving this year.
Loved it.
I was very, very excited.
Loved it.
I saw a Beastie Boys book out there.
I was going to say, we saw two books from one person.
Fat Joe, I think. Yep.
The Fat
Is
Joe
that
book
one?
and the Beastie Boys book. Both went to the same person.
Yeah. I got my New York Knicks
That's
jersey.
great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a good year.
I was going to wear my newest hat for you today because I know you would appreciate the hat I received yesterday. Mm-hmm. I got a vintage Montreal Expos red, white, and blue hat with the logo.
I have one of those.
I know you do. You also have the Rock Reigns jersey,
Yes, I do.
which as soon as I saw the hat, I was like, man, now I need me a Rock Reigns jersey. Actually, I'd probably go with either a Gary Carter or an Andre Dawson.
Yeah.
Or I could go
Randos.
really old school for the 2 years he was there and get a Pete Rose.
Yeah, and that jersey will never make it in the Hall of Fame. So,
No, it won't. Regardless of what logo's on the front of it.
yep.
But no, had a nice Christmas. Family had a nice Christmas. We did our Christmas thing. Kids opened their gifts. We went to have the wonderful hibachi dinner, and then went and saw Violent Night yesterday.
Wasn't it good?
I loved it.
Yes.
I was like, it's like if Home Alone met Jason Voorhees.
Yes. I was all in.
I was all in too once they started. I said, okay, all right, and then
It was Die Hard with actual Santa as John McClane.
and no Yakitori Plaza or whatever it was,
Nakatomi, yes.
Yakatomi, whatever.
No,
I
'cause
still
they had
haven't
the
seen
mansion
it
or
because
whatever.
yeah, I still haven't seen that. I don't think I ever will sit through Die Hard, just on principle, just on principle, because.
Well, you're 40 years to see The Godfather, so I mean,
But I did see that this year.
I know. That's why I said it took you that long to see it.
I attempted 10 times, but I fell asleep the first 9.
No,
It's a long movie. We were going to see Babylon. And then I looked up and saw
actually-
that was 3 hours and 9 minutes long. And
It
I said,
is.
I'm going to need a nap. So no.
I may be seeing that tonight, so I'll let you know
Okay. Well,
if it's
you
worth
got,
sitting through the Avatar length.
I was going to
movie.
say, it depends how quickly we get off of this thing today. So, so
Yeah.
that you have at least 6 hours to sit through it.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing Avatar. I didn't see the first one.
I
I'm not
did see
seeing
the
second
first one, and I have no interest in seeing the second one.
No, and this
But-
is what my son, who works in a movie theater, tells me. It is a visually stunning film that I don't care if I see or not.
Right.
Okay.
That's about the perfect description of that
when he
Avatar
goes and
movie.
Sets the projector up and everything, and he's up there when
Yeah.
it starts, and he looks at it. He's like, "Wow, this is really cool looking." But I don't care.
Yeah. Is that where he works in the projection booth?
Well, he's the okay. He is
Because
the-
I don't. Do they still use actual film, or do they do it all
No,
digital now?
It's all digital. but he is in charge of the projector at times because he is the senior team leader. So he's one step below the assistant manager. Because he's 19, he can't be the assistant manager yet.
Aha!
Because they serve alcohol there. So
Right. So that would make sense. Anyway,
Yes.
we are not a movie podcast.
we are not.
We are not a holiday podcast.
Listen to the Jock and Nerd podcast. They'll tell you about movies.
I know they will. They'll tell you a little bit about everything. That's why we
They
like
will.
them. So, yes, shout out to Jock and Nerd, our friends in the industry, and that's
Yes.
and can't forget the Rug Boy, of course.
No, of course.
You know,
Anthony and
and
Ron over there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, anyway, we have standard stuff for this final week of 2022.
A week.
Next week, for the first week of 2023, we will name who our artist of the year was.
Yep.
We still have a week to decide. So,
'Cause who knows what could happen? Nas could drop another album. I don't know.
he does shit like that without thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, we have hip-hop headlines, decent amount of hip-hop headlines. We have some woo news. We have a one and done by... When I first read it, I was like, wow, I know who this is. Never knew this record existed.
I didn't know until about 6 months ago because, I compile this list regularly. Yeah, and I saw it come up. I went, really? Let me check that out.
No
And I
more
think
to...
it should be more of a presents.
Yeah, because it's the main artist on that is a DJ.
Yes.
So, and it's always good to get a DJ record. We haven't had a good one
is.
of those since, Premiere or even going back to Terminator X at the Valley of the Jeep
Yes.
Beats. A record of the week from a very polarizing figure on this show recently, but we'll delve into that a little bit. We'll remind you who the
music's
artist...
music.
The music is the music. We'll remind you who the artist of the month is for this final week of December, this final week of 2022. And, as we said in the intro, we have an old to the new. And we're going to bring you
with
that
my
this
permission,
week.
But I did reach out.
And it's on YouTube, so they can play it, we can play it.
Exactly.
I will read lyrics. We'll update on the possibility of our Fresh Flicks on, Thursday night or Friday night this week?
Whatever is the 30th.
The 30th is, yes. Because New Year's Eve is Saturday.
Friday nights. But
Yeah.
in the summertime, you would be away on Fridays.
Yeah.
We switch to Thursday. But yes, back to Fridays.
Yes, and I don't think I'm going to be away on Fridays next summer, so we'll talk about that when we
Yes,
get to
we
it.
will.
But we will have a non-fungible football league update that's going to piss off a lot of people,
Final week. Yes.
and we're going to get shouts of collusion.
Yes.
But we'll go into that. Greetings from Mexico. Hello, Lieutenant Tom, or shall I say, buenas tardes,
Sure.
buenos dias.
Lieutenant Tomas.
No beben la agua. Don't drink the water. You'll get the shits.
No. Tom is not a water drinker when he's on vacation in Mexico.
Well, unless they're using the water to make that tequila. Anyway,
Yes.
shall we get started on this final episode of 2023?
Yes, the one of the final week.
The final week. So would you please hit me with a little... We go from The Rock to Triple H. How about
Why
that?
not?
Why don't you hit me with a little of that Triple H?
Yay, yay.
This is Hip Hop Headlines brought by Mr. Throwback Thursday.
We'll get on it. It's your turn.
It is my turn, and the first article this week is probably something that could, describe us. You've called it Hip Hop Nerds. Well, hello,
Yes.
Mark Merriam. You are here, and you are appreciated. It does not matter
Yes.
if you arrived fashionably behind schedule. That's fine.
But you're here for the good stuff. You didn't have to
Hey,
put up the
I was going to
garbage
say, you
before.
didn't have to put up with us spewing our verbal diarrhea. Okay, player brings us our
Indeed.
first article. And it is as you said, hip hop nerds. If you're a hip hop super nerd, and I don't want to mention any names, but his initials are Mr. Throwback Thursday over there.
This guy.
If you're a hip hop super nerd, this new trivia card game is for you. There is a hip hop trivia card game going to come out January 23rd of 2023. Or 24th. I'm sorry.
Yes. That's the day after. The 24th is the day after our ninth birthday.
Yes, it is. So that would be a fantastic Friday.
Yes.
Actually, I don't know if our birthday is actually on Throwback Thursday this year.
I don't know.
Lieutenant Tom, enjoy your cocktail. Enjoy Mexico. Merry Christmas. Have a safe New Year. We will see you on the other side.
It's actually on a Monday, the 23rd.
Aha.
So the 24th is a Tuesday when this comes out.
Okay. Well, that's when this hip hop trivia game is coming out. It's a card game. Kind of looks like a little bit of the Trivial Pursuit kind of cards that used to come out. It's called The Questions Hip Hop.
Okay, play it.
Celebration of Hip Hop 50 will arrive early with this game, created by Grammy, but who gives a fuck about a goddamn Grammy, nominated music and film TV producer and self-proclaimed hip-hop brainiac Sean Kantrowitz. Players can test their hip-hop knowledge with categories including liner note life, check the rhyme, and digging into crates. All right, I'm liking this. I probably...
Yes.
You'll probably kill this for one reason or another. My recall on a lot of this stuff, I'm much better with recall on sports than I am on, like liner notes and stuff. And then afterward, I'm like, no, give me 30 seconds to think about it. But most of these games have a timer. So you can test your trivia mastery with questions referencing artists, TV shows, pop culture moments, basically anything in the world of hip hop.
That's kind of like who wrote the theme song for In Living Color. Now, Heavy D performed it, but the man who actually wrote the theme song was one
Burt
DJ
Bacharach.
AF.
Oh, I was going to say Burt Bacharach.
No, and he.
I did
brought
say
Heavy
Burt
D
Bacharach.
in. You did, and he brought Heavy D in to do the vocals on it. So I would assume that there would be questions along those lines.
DJ Eddie F.
That's a name.
Well, there's a name we haven't heard in a while. Keep that name in mind.
Yes.
Anyway, this
Yes,
thing began as an in-person trivia night hosted in Los Angeles all the way back in 2018. It gained popularity from national music organizations like Dre Day LA and the Jay Dilla Foundation. You might have heard of both of those guys.
Those names, yeah.
Questions Hip Hop collaborated on events and customized games for their respective audiences. Although the Questions Hip Hop planned to take the trivia game on the road in 2020, pandemic happened.
Yeah, things happened.
So it did a live stream game show that hosted Questlove, the Professor Bun B, Just Blaze, the Regulator Warren G, Fonte, and more across 100+ episodes. Did you know anything about this?
I did not. Not until about 3 weeks ago I found the article.
Because I have a feeling if we knew about this, you would have gotten a hold of me and said, hey, there's a stream of hip-hop trivia on. You need to join me.
Yes, I most definitely would have done that.
How did we not know about this? I feel
know.
terrible that we didn't know. Anyway, this trivia game in 2022 became a podcast, airing on Open Mike Eagle's Stony Island audio network. This guy exclusively, Kantrowitz, spoke to OK Player about bringing the trivia game to a handheld form. It was important to not only add new content to the project, but also use this major opportunity to bring the traditional publishing world a fresh way of covering the full spectrum of hip-hop, offering book lovers and gamers who love hip-hop unique ways to celebrate. So this is a visual game in a way that we'd never done before. It has to look spectacular. So we came up with these message boards, designed the packaging, and I can't wait for this to come out because I guarantee Barnes & Noble will have it. They have everything like this.
I can guarantee you I will have it.
I can guarantee you will have it too.
And who knows, maybe we'll make it a thing on the show. We'll ask questions and have a posse member come on or something, and we'll ask them some
One question a week.
Yeah.
We could do the trivia question of the week.
We could. Now I got to come up with a new theme.
Well, you like to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I do.
So Be on the lookout for Questions Hip Hop is what it's called. It's coming out in January.
The posse.
Here's the problem. We're going to tell these people to go buy this, and then we're going to ask a question a week. They'll have the card in front of them, and they'll have typed in the answer before we even finish the question. Because just when you think you know all the answers, I change the questions.
No, because our posse got integrity.
No, the posse got velocity. That's what they got. They'll be typing that in with a quickness. Time to play the feud.
Yes.
We go from playing trivia to playing the feud.
We went from
Article number 2.
To playing the trivia, to playing the feud.
Hip Hop DX brings us Romeo hits back at this ain't no motherfucking P as Family Feud continues. He says stop with the sob story.
Yeah, there's been a lot of Romeo complaint going on lately. Talking about how Master P is out there and has never paid Romeo for any of his music or anything under the label. He's used it to pay his own taxes instead of paying this kid who did the art. And so there's been a lot of stink, and you can look it up.
Yeah. Basically, for those who don't know, the artist formerly known as Lil Romeo has now grown up. He's now Romeo. Romeo Miller. His dad is Percy Miller, professionally known as Master P, or on this show known as This Ain't No Motherfucking P.
Exactly.
So, as Jamie said, there's a little bit of a tete-a-tete between father and son. So, Romeo took to his Instagram story last Throwback Thursday, hitting back over his father, who said, I have nothing to fear or lie about. I want everybody to support my dad in his interviews, and then I'll follow back up and sit down with the same people with a lie detector test. And please stop with the sob story. This ain't about money. You know, no matter how much you take, I've never asked you to pay for any of my bills as an adult. I'm good. This is about how if anything ever happened to me or you, then this family has nothing. That's not generational wealth, and I'm tired of the deception. This interview showed me your true colors. Love you, but I can't protect that. Take a page from Mike Tyson. Your real truth will inspire even the next generation. Look, if you got to take inspiration from Mike Tyson for anything,
aside from knocking a motherfucker out,
and biting people in the ear.
Yeah.
So Percy's comments about Romeo came during an interview with Nino Brown. Am I my brother's keeper?
Indeed.
No, and apparently I'm not my son's either.
No.
That was uploaded to YouTube on Throwback Thursday. Brown told P, you can't give people things that they don't deserve or haven't earned because that'll create a sense of entitlement, which he believed applied to Romeo. This is Nino Brown saying this.
Yes, not motherfucking P.
But motherfucking P, although I'm not so sure it is motherfucking P because this ain't no motherfucking P.
No.
Agreed and replied, what you going to do when I'm gone? Because this could have killed me. Think about it. But social media people don't even look at how this started about the DJ and me posting RIP. But think about it. So because my daughter died, I can't even say RIP to nobody?
Yeah.
His son seemingly made their issues about money.
RIP.
Yeah. Oh, that one's bad. It hurt him deeply. It hurt Percy deeply to know that his son would think about him like that. He said, when asked if he could ever forgive Romeo, he's already forgiven him. He said, that's my son. I like what Charleston White said. He stood up, everybody. Y'all probably got kids, so y'all know people that don't really see behind the scenes. People don't really see that, man. People hide that, but that's my son. Of course I'm going to forgive him. And then he said, when Romeo needed help, he showed up. He said when his son grew tired of being executive producer of Growing Up Hip Hop, he pulled some strings to get him off the show, which resulted on him missing out on money. So P says he's happy this whole argument with his son transpired because it made him realize what he will now do with his money if anything happened to him, which is to give it all away to charity. Mm-hmm. The latest chapter in the dispute between the two comes after a week-long debate that started when P posted a tribute to Twitch. Romeo didn't appreciate his father paying tribute to Twitch, but not doing the same for his daughter, who died of an accidental drug overdose. And he did do something for his
We had
daughter.
it on the show.
We had it on the show. Yes, we actually read it. I think he posted it on 2 different places.
Yeah, I do remember clearly because that's the reason I knew that it happened is because P posted about it.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't tribute enough for Romeo. I don't know.
So if you go and read the article, interesting what they're saying about each other. Hey, it's Mudfoot.
You
got some-
right into the treats, Frank. We're right here.
We got some peanut brittle. Fat Albert, I think it's peanut brittle. Not the way I eat it. It's brutal. Oh God,
Merry
Mudfoot.
Christmas, Frank.
I love anytime we get a Mudfoot reference other than Biz going, everybody get up and do the Mudfoot.
Well, that's one of the things that Frank and I first bonded over.
Was Mudfoot?
Was the beginning of Illegal Business by BDP.
Because he recognized what can we get for
What can we get
63 cents?
63 cents. There.
Can you get peanut brutal?
You can get school on Sunday.
No
No
class. You like the NCAA. No class at all.
Yeah, Frank and I go back over some BDP.
And we never get enough. Is Frank the Brown Hornet?
He is not.
He could be the Brown Hornet. You don't know.
He could be because he drives a brown truck with some yellow lettering on it.
I think Frank's the Brown Hornet.
He might be. I don't know.
So you know what that means? Tracy Morgan going to play Frank in a movie eventually if we have anything to do about it.
Tracy Morgan will just have to move down and play Stinger now if Frank is the brown Hornet.
Tracy Morgan kind of got that Stinger build now. So. Anyway, it's a doggy it's a doggy dog world. Our
Yes, it
next
is.
article, and that comes from the Mirror at the Daily Mirror in the United Kingdom. We get a lot of stuff from them.
We do.
Speaking of which, I don't see him on here, but happy Boxing Day to Nipsey.
Nipsey, yes.
How's that, huh? Boxing Day reference. We don't get those very often. Snoop Dogg has received 1 million votes to run Twitter after he mocked the poll that Elon Musk put out.
Yeah.
Now, Elon Muskingill, who I have so named because he is a douche,
Yes.
put up a poll, and
And
he
airs
basically
grievances around it?
said, no, a different kind of poll. Well, no, kind of did air his grievances.
Kind of,
He put
yeah.
up a poll so other people could air their grievances. Basically asking, should I resign as CEO of Twitter?
Yes.
And an astounding, I think 56% of the people
Yeah.
who responded were like, yes, motherfucker, back off.
And he said, be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. So I don't know who his idea of a successor is for that position as he steps
Somebody
back.
he deems appropriate.
Right. So,
So-
maybe this would be the person that he
Fucking-
also deems appropriate because everyone else deemed it appropriate.
You know what this is going to end to? This is going to end up being Martin Shitdick running Twitter.
Yeah, and charging everybody for it.
Ugh.
But no, the people have
He
spoken.
still owns it. He just won't run it, but he
Right,
still
right.
owns it.
Yeah. No, the people have spoken on who they want to be the new person running Twitter.
Yes, they want Snoop. Because the 51-year-old hip-hop legend poked fun at SpaceX and Tesla boss Elon Muskingill, the big giant douche, amid a turbulent takeover of the Twitter social media platform. Last Sunday, Musk asked his followers, should I step down as head of Twitter? I will abide by the results of this poll. I was wrong. It's 57.5% said,
Okay.
get the fuck out! And this thing says they didn't just choose yes, they did it savagely. And I'm thinking to myself, how savage can you be to...
Click a button.
Yeah.
People were mad.
People broke their phone screens. Bam! In a subsequent tweet, Musk wrote, as the saying goes, be careful what you wish, as you might get it. Meanwhile, Snoop went in on Monday. Meanwhile, Snoop went in on Monday with the tweet, should I run Twitter?
And the
as he
people
launched
said
a poll
yes.
on early Monday morning. 10 hours and counting since his tweet landed. The rapper had already accumulated more than 1 million votes and an overwhelming yes of 81.8%.
Yeah, so 81% of the 57% said we need Snoop.
So Muskengill in the past has always kind of obeyed these Twitter polls. He's fond of quoting the phrase Vox Populi, Vox Dei, which in Latin loosely translates to the voice of the people is the voice of God, which, you know, he thinks he's a god anyway. He's a fucking weirdo.
He is. He's a rich weirdo, as most weirdos are.
He is a douche. That's why I call him Muskengill.
Yes, we've got that.
And then he also introduced, now this is Musk, we're talking, a policy that would ban the promotion of content from other social media platforms. Specifically, we will remove accounts created solely for the purpose of promoting other social platforms and content that contains links or usernames from Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Truth Social, Tribal, Nostra, and Post, which has now been deleted.
As a what am I looking for? As a trademark owner, I would not want people coming on our pages talking about competitors. So I understand in a much larger scheme than us, someone wanting to say, okay, don't come on Twitch and set up an account advertising your Facebook or, you know, your social media. Don't come on my platform and advertise your shit. I understand that.
To a certain extent, I do too. But social media doesn't exist in a compartmentalized thing. There's very few people are just on one thing.
No, I
say,
know.
no, I'm a Facebook guy. I'm not a Twitter guy. I'm not an Instagram guy. I'm not a Snapchat guy. No,
people, though.
there are some, but
Yes,
but it's
there
the
are few.
minority.
Yes.
It's the minority. Whereas most people are like, hey, if you can't find me here, you can find me here, 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 here. I'm more about getting my message out than worrying about, you know, if I piss anybody else off.
But you can't say, okay, I'm Twitter. I host all of my Twitter people here. Don't come on here and tell people
To go to Facebook.
Right. That's the issue. That's the part I totally understand where they're coming from. I don't think you're gonna be able to stop it, but
I don't think so either. But then again, what's the difference between that and saying, hey, you want to read more about this thing that I just put 180 characters on? Click this link. It'll take you to my webpage.
right.
It'll take you to the New York Times. It'll take you to the New York Post. It'll
But they
take
are
you
not
to wherever.
competing with Twitter.
More
They are
so now
using
than
Twitter.
I think more people go to Twitter for breaking news than they ever do go to
Yes.
like newspaper
But
pages
that's what I'm
anymore.
saying. Twitter gathers all of these news feeds from people and from those accounts. Just like Burger King has a Twitter account. Burger King and Twitter are not in competition, so that's fine. So if I don't even know if it exists, but if Facebook as an entity created a Twitter account, that would be fucked up.
I'm going to have to look on Twitter to see if Facebook or Instagram has an account. Because you know what? That would be really interesting. I never gave thought to the fact that one social media account would have
A
anything
social media
on.
account on something else.
Instagram has a Twitter handle.
See?
Um,
Morning, Captain.
Facebook has a Twitter handle.
See? How are those allowed to exist?
The Meta Newsroom. I'm sure Meta has a Twitter handle. Meta has a Twitter handle.
Yeah. Now, does Twitter have a Facebook page?
Snapchat has a Twitter handle.
I didn't know that was still a thing.
Oh yeah, it's what's the big one? TikTok. I'm sure TikTok
they're
has a
everywhere.
Twitter handle.
Yep. And Twitter has a Facebook account. So
TikTok
do
not only
share.
has TikTok US has a Twitter handle. I don't know about Yeah, I don't know about anything else, but
yeah,
it doesn't matter. It's all a Russian and Chinese data collecting thing on TikTok
But
anyway.
If Facebook were to come on Twitter and say, hey, go to blah, blah, blah on Facebook or on Instagram, and pulling people away from Twitter, using Twitter to pull people away from Twitter. That is the issue, I believe.
Yeah, but Twitter in and of itself isn't one of those things that you stay on forever. You know, you go there, you find what you want, and although there are people who will say and stay on Twitter, and it's
just
not like they
doom
get
scroll
paid.
through it,
It's not like they get paid for the amount of time you get.
I don't know
on
what
Twitter.
they get paid for, because
I don't know if there's an algorithm for that. I know they get paid for clicks.
right. So, you go to the advertiser off of there, that kicks back to Twitter.
I never click on any ads on any of these
Well,
social
no,
media
because
things.
your wife
I
would
don't.
shoot you because she's an IT professional.
I don't know why. I don't know how they make money, to be honest with you. I'm not savvy on that sort of thing. And it just seems to me that if you're not paying for the service, and I'm certainly not paying $7.99 a month to have a fucking blue check mark next to my name.
No, but people pay Twitter to have their advertisements, just like radio or whatever. Mm-hmm. But when it is,
I
a
used to
link-
sell advertisements.
that's why
I
I
remember
mentioned it.
that shit, which is impossible to.
So
I mean,
when they get paid for the advertiser, then the link goes out. The link from Twitter, which has an active identification, will show them, hey, this came from Twitter.
yes, so many people clicked on this, then that's how they get. Yeah. Yeah. And hello, Ricky. Hello, Kenneth. Welcome. Interesting. So Snoop wants to run Twitter.
Yes.
Getting back to what we're
Or
talking
not,
about.
maybe.
The best part was, when Elon put this thing up about banning the other Jack Dorsey, who was the former CEO and the founder of Twitter, he tweeted out one word. Why? I think he understands that social media breeds social media. If you can't find it on one, you will find it on the other. So
Yeah,
I think
he has his own, as always, his own business plan, and this is the way he sees it. Now, the guy who created Twitter understands Twitter more than the guy who bought Twitter. So that's the banging of heads. Why? Why would you do that? This is how I did it, and it worked great because you bought it from me for billions of dollars.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Jack will never have to pay for a meal again.
No.
I mean, whatever. The whole thing is just way over my head. We use Twitter for show promotion.
Yes.
I use Twitter to follow along with like sporting events when I'm not at home. So
It's a wonderful
I mean,
tool.
it is. And it's run by a tool, so that makes
Indeed.
it makes
There you go.
perfect sense. So let's go to our next article,
Because we have more.
and that one's called "These Are the Tales."
Are they freaky?
It depends on your definition of freaky, I suppose. This comes to us from sfist.com. So it's a San Francisco thing, but it just looks like S-Fist.
It does. It's fist. It's
Fist.
sophisticated.
Sophisticated. Look at you. That was good. See, this is why we do this in the morning now, because you've got your caffeine, you're
A little sharper.
little sharper. Yep. I haven't worked 8 hours already today and come home and am in a stupor. So there's a Too Short movie shooting in Oakland. Normally you get shooting in Oakland and it's not a movie headline. Businesses blow the whistle over disruption and lack
blow the
of
whistle.
notice. Yes. So there's no shortage of frustration over the Too Short movie called, what do you think it's called?
Freaky Tales.
You got it. Freaky Tales filming in Oakland. Business owners say film crews blocking their storefronts have cost them tens of thousands of dollars, and they were not given much notice that all this would be happening. Hoodline had a great feel-good story earlier this month over the news that Oakland rapper Too Short was getting a street named after him in a stretch next to his alma mater, Fremont High School. We reported on that. And now we learned that apparently it's related to a movie shoot for a film for which Too Short is the executive producer called Freaky Tales.
These are
Which is-
tales.
The Freaky Tales. These are the tales that we tell so well.
Well,
The film did indeed shoot in Oakland last week, set in 1987, Oakland. There's vintage. I mean, if you look at pictures of it, you got that perfect vintage late 80s threads with the jogging suits and the
It's
pastel
very
colors.
short.
It's very 80s, yes. Per the IMDb description, 4 interconnected stories set in 1987 Oakland will tell about the love of music, movies, people, places, and memories beyond our knowable universe. Okay, that's a little freaky.
it's a freaky tale.
In addition to Dominique Thorne, who was from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, the film stars the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal.
Oh, nice.
And-
Note, Pedro Pascal movie that you should really watch is the one about Nick Cage. Oh my god, it's a really long title. Hold on, Pedro, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
Okay, I've heard of that actually.
Oh my god, it's fucking awesome. But Pedro Pascal is in it.
There's somebody else from the Star Wars universe in this Freaky Tales movie, Ben Mendelsohn, who was in Rogue One. So apparently, Too Short's a big Star Wars fan.
Yeah, nobody remembers anyone from Rogue One. And there's reason.
Dude, I loved Rogue One. I thought Rogue One was really well done.
Look, Rogue One was a 1-sentence explanation in A New Hope, and that's all we needed.
But then we got to see Forrest Whitaker in a Star Wars movie. So he's not just introducing the Woo on Woo News for us. He's doing other things. I thought.
What happened to those characters? Okay.
Tell me that last scene though, where Vader comes,
Cash grab.
whatever. You know, we don't criticize people for grabbing cash.
No.
We've said that many times. If that's your hustle, that's your hustle. But and I love the last scene when Vader comes into that rebellion ship and just wrecks shop. He's an angry bitch in that movie.
He is.
So anyway, it says Oakland business owners were up in arms over how they were given very little notice of the film's shoot disruptions and how the technical crews blocked their storefronts. This love letter of a film to Oakland is going to destroy Uptown and revert it back, and it's going to be a lose-lose situation, said Glenn Kaplan, who owns a bar. He says, this didn't help Oakland at all. They helped Hollywood. Hollywood ran roughshod all over Oakland, and Oakland allowed it. Sure, if that's what you think.
Yeah. Yeah. Thousands of people if thousands of people are shopping at your business, they're not going to stop shopping at your business. The day of shooting in your area is not going to kill you.
No, they blocked off the area. There's no parking. Our regulars who live in the neighborhood were furious because 1980s film cars were sitting here. Wah, fucking wah, fucking wah. Yes, Charles Jefferson, who still is looking for those 2 tickets to Earth, Wind, and Fire, I'm sure. Where the fuck is Mike Damone on that? They tried to put porta potties in front of our bar. They tried to move our neighbor's parklet that was rat infested in front of our bar. But I mean, hell, why is Tom Hanks on there?
I have no idea.
There's a Freaky Tales movie loosely inspired by Too Short's music filming now in Oakland. Apparently, we got Tom Hanks on set in a Colonial Donuts shirt. Dude, if Tom Hanks ends up being in the fucking Freaky Tales movie, I will see it.
Well, if you recall, many years ago, well, no, it was probably like 2 years ago, we did an article where there's that mural in Oakland of Tom Hanks and Too Short together.
That's true. I'd forgotten all about that. And if you remember, Tom Hanks' wife, Rita, very big hip hop fan.
Oh, yeah.
During the pandemic was on, what was she do? She did the lyrics like to a T of some song that nobody expected her to do.
Remember, here, hold this thought. How about I show you? I put
The
it on
mural.
screen.
I remember. Yes. Yeah, I don't remember why that was up there, but
I
yes.
don't remember. I just remember that we did it.
I
and it was
remember
the two
we
of
did
them
because
together.
we said, because we were like, one of these things just doesn't belong here.
Yeah.
You got Too Short on a mural in Oakland. Tom Hanks isn't from there, is he?
I don't know. I don't remember. I just remember doing the article. Let's see. Mira was supposed to be another chance at Oakland. Blah 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 blah. No, I don't see. Okay. Depicted side by side on a 100-foot brick wall in San Pablo in Oakland. Oakland breeds influences. Maybe he is from there. I don't know. I'm not going to hold everybody up. Somebody, research department, find out if Tom Hanks is from Oakland. Go ahead, moving on.
So there's an adult shop that I guess was reused. It said, you're circling for parking. I see these big trucks taking up 2, 3, 4 times a parking space. We need to have more coordination with the small business as well as the city of Oakland and the film crew. And just, it's not going to kill your business forever.
No. And that's what they're talking about. They're talking about, it's going to bring us back to the 80s when, we were a rundown area or whatever. Because we're going to miss a week. I would think more people are going to come to that business now after seeing, it was in that movie shoot.
If the actual business is in the movie, because they actually put up some different like fake storefront names on them. But, I'm sure they get paid.
That.
They get paid.
Yeah, they had to approve that.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks, born in Concord, California.
Okay, so I would think that's not terribly far away from Oakland. So,
yeah. But then, again, we don't know California. It's all the same town to us. So.
I love this. How do you know when this is in the comment section of this article. How do you know when a business owner is whining?
How?
Their mouth is open.
Ah.
Never in history has there been such a consistently entitled group of people. Here's the thing. As long as they're made whole, and I'm sure they will be for their inconvenience, if they're not made whole, then that's a different story.
Right. And
if
you're going to know until after the fact.
And if you own a bar or restaurant, who's to say that the people working on the movie didn't come in and patronize your business?
Yeah.
I'm sure, it's just, it is what it is. Let's go back to one of our favorite guests and probably one of our most revealing interviews that we've ever done on this show. And I will always say we were very fortunate to get Kangol Kid on this show when we did.
Yes.
And it was kind of a tragedy that he passed so soon after.
Yeah, because we were Valentine's Day, right?
We had him on Valentine's Day because he was promoting the love thing he was doing.
Yep.
And he passed away right around Christmas. It was like, 10 months later.
Yeah.
Now his family, according to allhiphop.com, and I think what did you entitle this one? Yo Kangol.
Yes. Yep.
So his family is now fighting to get his belongings back.
Yeah.
He died a year ago.
Sons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
he died a year ago to cancer at 55. His children are fighting for those who now Kangol Kid.
Stop.
Oh, all of a sudden I just went bad.
Yeah, that's start that one over because you were like, and his first, so his kids. So let's start back.
That's the first time that's happened all day.
It is.
So anyway, for those who don't remember, we'll come in
with a shriek. Who's your mama?
So for those who may not remember, Kangol Kid was a member of UTFO. Passed away at 55 from colon cancer. His sons, T-Sean, AJ, and Geo, are now saying that his widow has taken the rapper's things from a storage space and will not return it to them. They now maintain that Tajiri Swindell, the mother of Kangol's daughter, was never legally married to Kangol Kangol kid, as was widely believed. So if the marriage wasn't legal, now they've got as next kin, I would think they have a legal argument. Usually, the spouse is next of kin, but if that marriage is not recognized,
right, or it never
then
happened.
they may have something to, as they say. It appears the two factions are headed for a legal showdown if it continues. And T. Sean said it was not an easy. He says this fight is heartbreaking, but I have to do it. He says that T. Sean charged that the will says that his things are supposed to be split between his children.
Mm-hmm.
She went to the store, Juno and my father, without our permission, grabbed everything, claimed she was doing us a favor. She took everything to her house and is now making it a fight for me and my brothers to get the stuff that belongs to us. They do not have the money to lawyer up and plan to set up a GoFundMe to allow their supporters to aid them. I would think something like this, a lawyer should do this pro bono.
Yeah, you'd think there's somebody, and there is a.
And this is where I think The Rock. This is where I think the Rock the Bells found. Yeah, this is where I think we always talk about Rock the Bells trying to enable families and stuff of these artists. I would think that they should reach out if they haven't already and see if Rock the Bells can help them with providing some kind of legal representation.
Yeah, well, isn't there also? We talked about it, I think, last year. That the thing Chuck D. And who else was involved? I think LL might have been involved, where they were trying to set up the hip hop union.
Yeah,
for lack of, I don't know if that's what it. But if that's operational, maybe Kangol was involved in that. Maybe that is something that they could go through. That I'm going to talk to Lion, because Lion's the one who told me that this was happening because it's right by me. And we may have his sons come on and tell us more what's happening. But I will reach out to Lion after we record today and mention to him that these things are out there and maybe, there's somebody who can help. If not, if it becomes a GoFundMe, we will definitely promote it here.
Yeah. So this Swindell, this woman who may or may not have been married to him, has not commented on the allegations by the kids, but the only thing she said, she responded to an old text from her former partner, according to this article. They're not even saying spouse now because it's
in flux.
It said, "I love you," and she said, "I love you so much more, baby." Sitting here reading through our old texts, a year has passed so fast. I thank God I have these and our memories to share with Sia when she gets older. She has your whole face and your fun spirit, but you already know that because you're watching over us. Of course she has his whole face. She doesn't have a half a face. I don't understand why people say shit like that. I got a girl I work with who constantly says things like, "That's a whole fact," as opposed to a half a fact.
That's a whole nother fact.
I will cut you. Which got me a 1 week Facebook ban one time for saying that.
Nice.
For saying, "I will cut you." So anyway, the Suns took to social media to get help and to raise awareness about their plight. And it's on the Instagram feed titled Yo Kangol. So, yeah, help Kangol kids retrieve his belongings. That's a mix on words, isn't it? Kangol kids. But thing is just a little bit fishy. I hope they can get it settled because,
Yeah, me too.
If she's not legally his wife, I don't know. Now, what state did they live in? Was it California?
I would have to investigate.
I'm not sure where. Maybe it's a common law state, but I also thought common law was a certain time period had to have passed. I don't know if they lived 7 years.
Yeah.
So, at least in most states.
And from,
I don't know if she's considered a common law wife.
Yeah, from what I've been led to believe too, the sons don't have issue with the daughter.
No,
she's
strictly the mother.
Right. So if they were to get the stuff back, and I'm sure that they would want to give something to the daughter, who is young, to remember her father.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they are the type to say, no, we want to
I don't think they're full of venom.
No.
They don't seem venomous about, I don't get a whole lot of anger from them as people. They're just angry at the situation as is. Yes.
Yes.
Which, from what I can understand, they've got a legitimate beef. Now, again, I don't know the particulars of the legality of that marriage. I don't know whether or not it's in a common law state or if that they have been. And when it does, I'm sure we will bring it to everybody because Kangol Kid, as I said, was a friend of the show, agreed to come on and had a wonderful conversation with us.
Yes.
So, so we kind of have a vested interest in seeing how this plays out.
Plus
I'd love to have his kids on the show to say, hey, your dad was gracious enough to come on our show. You want to tell your story? We will give you a platform.
Yep. And who knows? That could happen sooner than one might think.
Perhaps. Now, we talked earlier in the show about Percy Miller and his entitled son, Romeo.
And his child.
I would think, let's see if Romeo has a problem with this, because it's for children other than himself.
It is.
AllHipHop.com brings us this one, which is make them say thank you. Percy Miller, Master P, has hosted a successful Secret Santa event for children in need. Because Romeo ain't needing nothing.
Nope, he said so.
'Twas the week before Christmas, and all through the land, spirit of giving was on everyone's hand, according to Percy Miller, rapper Master P, and community activist Christopher two times helped Santa spread cheer to the children of Chestnut YMCA. And we've talked many times about Master P and his philanthropy and his business acumen. And as much as he may not be the greatest MC in the world, smart businessman, good dude.
Yeah.
Master P and Christopher two times, alongside University of Louisville basketball coach Kenny Payne, participated in an initiative hosted by Game Changers that brought holiday cheer to over 200 children in need.
One time.
The event aimed to support children in underrepresented communities who may not have access to necessary resources such as counseling and medication. So it's not like they're just flooding these kids with toys. They're giving them what they actually require on a daily basis.
Yeah, it's not a, hey, look,
It wasn't
I bought a bunch of toys for kids. Look at me.
Not a photo op.
No. It is someone actually helping the people who need help.
Master P emphasized the importance of this event, stating that it was about providing love and support to children who may not have it in their daily lives. A lot of kids that's living in these minority areas, they don't have counseling. And, he did have Christmas in the Ghetto as a song. I don't know if we ever did that as one of our Christmas songs, but we will have to go back and look. Might have been on one of those anthology albums we did a couple of years ago, because we have done 8 Christmas records somehow.
We have.
They don't have the right medications. And let me tell you, as somebody who works in the medical field, not having the right medications or not taking your medications
That's
causes more harm a lot of times than the original condition that you're taking the medication for. They just don't have the right people around to give them that love, so that's what this is about today. The rapper also expressed gratitude to Delta Dental and Adidas for sponsoring the heartwarming occasion. Secret Santa brought joy and cheer to these kids and their families, and that's really what it's all about this time of year. So
sound like the hokey pokey there.
Good on Master P for doing this for the kids who really, really need it.
Yeah.
Our next article, and by the way, I saw when I went to the movies yesterday a trailer for the new House Party.
Yes.
I'm in. I'm ready to see this movie now. So
I love where the hologram and people making
your hairline looks great.
Yeah, I love that one.
He's like, this motherfucker got a hologram to give him compliments? He's soft. But you've entitled this one, The House Party's in the Library. How about The Party's in the Library?
How about it?
House parties being at, huh?
In House Party 2, they did a house party in the teacher's lounge, in the teacher's dining hall. So the library is the logical next step.
Yes. And we talking about the Library of Congress.
We are.
Library of Congress chooses 25 movies annually to enter into the National Film Registry. And for 2022, the committee included House Party, starring Kid and Play and Robin Harris,
Robin Harris, yes.
in the hallowed halls. This 1990 film, starring Kid and Play, as well as Martin Lawrence, Tisha Campbell, Robin Harris, Full Force, and somebody who wants to kick your ass,
Full Force, yeah.
will be joining the likes of the original Superfly, Carrie, 2008's Iron Man, and a documentary on Charles Mingus. Called Charles Mingus, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Reginald Hudlin, who wrote and directed House Party, was overcome with gratitude when he found out it's going into the National Film Registry.
Well, that's huge for...
It's huge for any film.
And I don't want to say a hip-hop movie. It's huge for a...
I'll say it.
Comedy.
I'll say it. I'll say it's huge for a hip-hop movie.
Yeah, but
I don't know of any other hip-hop... Although I think Did Boys in the Hood make it?
I don't know. I don't keep up with this.
I would have to look at the National Film Registry just to see who's been voted in. But it wouldn't surprise me if because of the cultural significance of Boys in the Hood and
Right.
John Singleton, you know,
Yeah.
I would think.
I put House Party as far as a movie. Now, everybody here should know that I love House Party. It is almost like an evolved Three Stooges film. Mm-hmm. It's Keystone copy, but with a modern twist on it. You know, no longer modern, but
Right.
so for something of that style to be admitted is a big deal.
I just noticed you left me a voicemail before.
Yeah, I did. I
You
told you I was
call-
going to drive to your fucking house.
You called me a nasty name. No, I told you I was trying to get my goddamn green screen working. Anyway, I think, and the way they put this is perfect. You know, hip hop movies are usually super gritty
Yes, they're almost always
or heavy themed. This was like the middle class version of hip hop.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's important to show, because we've always talked about Kid and Play being family friendly.
Yes.
And other than the fact that,
gateway artists.
and other than the fact that, yeah, they get in a little trouble in the movie, but it's not any kind of super legal trouble. It's shit, I disrespected my father trouble, which
Right.
in that community, probably worse off than getting in trouble with the cops.
And as you know, my earlier life, I saw myself in Kid in that, because had I snuck out on my dad after being told that I wasn't allowed to go anywhere, that would be the fear that I had all night. That he was going to show up, kick everyone's ass in the room until he found me, and he would drag me home.
I seem to remember us pulling into your driveway,
When
walking into your garage
People should be
side
at work.
exit when people should be at work and or at school,
Yes.
thinking we got away with it,
Yes.
and seeing a shadow come out of the darkness and the words, "Tell Bill to go the fuck home." You didn't need to tell me to go the fuck home. I heard him.
I felt it.
I picked up my car, put it in my back pocket, and ran home like a cartoon character. Thank you, Ralph Robinson.
so my dad at that point in my life was very much Pops from House Party.
he was yes, he was most definitely Pops from House Party. Not just at that moment. And I'll tell you what, your dad was competitive as fuck on a croquet field too. I'll say that.
Down the road trying to find your ball.
I think I made it to the Four Corners that one day. Because he hit the. Of course, your road had the hills, so God
Yeah,
forbid
down
that.
by Victory Lake. Yeah.
Oh, down past Victory Lake.
Yeah. Yep. But and I'm not gonna say that Bill was even playing that scenario because I would always talk Bill into doing things. Had I been kid in this scenario, Scott would have been play in this
Yes.
scenario.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, I probably would have been. Probably would have been. Yeah, I probably would have been Bilal going. This shit's messed up. Checking my breath.
Dragon breath. What?
I have to tell you this before we get any further.
Sure, I can edit.
No, you're gonna want to leave this in. You know, I work for a doctor.
You do.
The doctor I work for, pretty much my age. A little bit, I would say same socioeconomic background. Mm-hmm. I forget what we were talking about the other day. I said something, and he threw out the term, caught the vapors.
Really?
And I sat at my desk, and I looked up at him, and I went, did you just throw out a Bismarck Key reference? And I could see him grin under his mask.
Yep.
And I was like, all right, this guy's cooler than I thought he was.
You should just looked at him and said, okay, player.
Almost did. Almost did. But yeah, you would have, in the immortal words of Clark Griswold, I could have woken up with my head sewed to the carpet and not been as surprised as I am right now. I couldn't believe he said that. Anyway, house party going into the National Registry of Film, and that's a really, really cool thing.
It is.
Let's get our final piece of hip-hop headlines in before we take our first break. Finish him! Never thought that hip-hop could take it this far.
Yes. This is really
And this
cool.
comes to...
We have not done this yet. We have not investigated this, but I have I have the capabilities, I guess.
The only reason he
investigate
wanted
this.
to do this article is because he likes to hear me go, this article came from Yahoo! Which
Yes,
they
I
don't
could've
even
gotten
do
this
in commercials anymore.
I could have gotten this from 38 different sources.
Yes. Biggie Smalls, he's the illest.
That's what I
is
heard.
in the limelight in a metaverse VR concert experience. The spirit of Biggie Smalls, who's the illest, was resurrected in the metaverse on Friday night last week, transporting thousands of attendees to a virtual recreation of 1990s Brooklyn, New York. I think I'll go to Brooklyn.
Yes.
For a performance that transcended space and time. I wonder if our good friend, Mr. Roger Rabbit himself from Toontown, Ed was there.
Ed in on this one.
As a native New Yorker and old school hip hop fan, hearts swelled when hyper-realistic digital forms of Biggie Smalls in a red velvet tracksuit appeared inside Meta Horizon Worlds, a virtual world experience through the MetaQuest virtual reality headset. I don't have a VR headset, so
I can say people should know Alex by now.
Yes.
Alex has one. He bought one for himself like over a year ago.
Uh-huh.
And I've put it on like the day he got it. He's like, here, check out how this works. And they have the like the built-in game on how to learn how to use stuff. And so I checked that out and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And that's before Toontown Ed came and told us all these things that are going to be happening. And Adam came on and told us that there's going to be a UHHM subway through the metaverse. So I have an account now set up on his Meta Quest headset, and I still haven't used it. I've like partially created my avatar or whatever, but that's as far as I've gotten. Mm-hmm. But for something like this, I would go check this out.
So I wonder if something like this they charge money for. It's
Probably.
a concert experience. I'm surprised they haven't found a way to monetize it yet.
They probably have.
Maybe.
Maybe you have to buy. Like you could. The app is free, but then like in-game
purchases. Yeah, there you go.
Do you want to go into this door and see the Biggie verse? Click. Yeah, that would be a smart way to do it.
It was also, this concert included a narrative journey through Biggie's life, featured guest performances by Piss Dookie, The Lox, Lotto, Nardo, Wick, and Little C's simultaneously broadcast on Biggie's Facebook page, which I guess is still up and running. I did not know that.
Well, it should be. I mean, they can still make money off of it.
Yeah, I suppose so. Which the article's author was able to view from his laptop and put the headset on afterward to gain access to the full sensory-laden experience. In Horizon Worlds, there are about 120 floating avatars gathered in a lifelike concert venue, tuning in from their virtual reality headsets. He says it was incredible to experience 360 degrees of sights and sounds, though I found the quick movements and flashing lights to be slightly disorienting and was glad to have the ability to watch a recording of the performance, which has since racked up about 68,000 views. See, that's my big thing. I have a hard enough time seeing like 3D movies. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could do virtual reality. I'd probably get sick.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't really gotten to play with it, so I don't know how it would affect me, but I could see that being a very real thing.
So about 20 minutes into this experience, Virtual Biggie took the stage performing Juicy and Big Papa and Warning. Audible cheers from the audience and a deluge of heart emojis sent in the Facebook chat highlighted the overwhelmingly positive reception to the performance.
Now imagine where they can go with this. You can take what was going to be the hologram Tupac. That was a one-time thing. Now you can take Tupac and recreate a Tupac concert or a Heavy D concert or a Gang Starr. You can do all this. You can go and watch a Hendrix show.
Go back and have a Rush concert now that Neil Peart is gone. So
they can do all of this, and it is one step closer to Ready Player One. I mean, it's
so pretty interesting stuff. Now, out of all the artists in the world that I would potentially pay to see in concert, I don't know if Biggie would be one of them.
But if it is an included thing,
maybe
if you've got the headset. And you say, okay, you downloaded the Meta whatever Horizon universe. Can you just go and see it? I would go and check that out. Mm-hmm. I mean, even for the 1990s Brooklyn, his neighborhood and all that stuff, that would be cool too. Plus the locks are involved.
Yeah. Now, if they can do this with deceased artists,
why wouldn't they be able to?
I would most definitely check out a Run DMC concert featuring the late great Jam Master Jay. Yes. That's for sure. So
yes, I have seen one of those. It is worth seeing.
There are countless doors that could be opened for this. So we are living in a technological times, my friend, and sometimes I understand them and sometimes I just don't. Eventually, I'm sure I will get a VR headset, but
like I said, there's been one in my house for at least a year, and it's got to be longer than that because we got him like a charging station for it for last Christmas. So he's had it for a while, and I've had it on my face twice.
When did you get it? Last Christmas. Congratulations to Sarah and John for surviving Whamageddon, by the way. I made it all the way to a week before, and then my kids sabotaged me. So on that note...
because you bragged about it. Because you bragged about it.
No, I explained it to him because I had heard one of the remixes of the song. Well, but I explained to the kids what it was because I had to explain to the kids what it was. Mm-hmm. I heard because I was with Emily in the store and I heard one of the remixes come on and I'm like, oh, dear God, please don't let this be. And then it was like Miley Cyrus's version or Taylor Swift's version or something. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, good, I'm still in it. And she goes, what are you talking about? And I explained it to her. Well, Wyatt found out. I walked into the living room, and this was his response. Hey, Bill. What, why? Play.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? He goes, you just got eliminated. I'm like, and you're a dick.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Hip Hop Headlines for episode 465. We are going to take our first break of the day. And when we come back, we're going to have a little bit of woo news, and then we're going to get into some music on Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 465.
Yay.
That's exactly how it happened, too. He sat there with a shit-eating grin on his face.
Of course.
And he hit play.
Accomplished.
And then he's like, you're eliminated.
Motherfucker, I'm about to eliminate your ass. Test 2, baby.
That phrase is going to be in the National Film Registry.
It is.
Why'd you just go home? Test tube, baby.
Let's see. Been in a Frank Zappa mood lately. I don't know why. And no, that means nothing to anyone. It's not pertinent information. Just crossed my mind. Do. All right, where is my drop folder? Did you notice the drops from last week, by the way?
I did. It's I was like, he never ceases to surprise me. Because that wasn't there when we recorded.
It was not. I had to work extra on that before. Did anyone else, non-patron, because you didn't get that version, notice the drops from last week? Now they're like, shit, he expected us to listen?
No, we just come here for this. And then every Thursday it takes up space on my phone until I delete it 2 weeks later.
Can't get rid of that shit fast enough. All right.
Oh my God. That's terrible. Dude, as bad as that Buccaneers Cardinals game was, what about the ass whooping that the Rams put on the Broncos yesterday?
Yeah. I knew it was going to be a win. I didn't know it was going to be so one-sided. Okay.
And how could the Jets look so bad on Thursday night and yet now be almost in control of their own destiny to get into the playoffs? It's so weird the way this season is going.
Yeah. Stranger things have happened, but we're not on that 37 things need to happen for us to back in.
Right.
For the first time in a long time.
No, I think you have to just win.
Yeah.
And
Because one of the games is against Miami.
yeah, and for your sake, I hope Mike White is healthy enough to play because I don't think Zach Wilson's ever going to take the field in a New York Jet uniform again.
He should not.
So throwing bombs and banging moms is going to be
and that's why
in the past.
That's why that team was in first place all season long until the last week of the season. And then I got knocked down to number 2. And then in the first round of the playoffs, I got knocked out.
Yep.
Following the Zach Wilson path. Need to send that dude back to Utah.
So the Giants, it says, have a 91% chance of making the playoffs. I don't know about the Jets. I'd have to look at that. Yeah, they play the Colts and the Eagles, and I think they only have to win next week against the Colts, and they're in. And then the Commanders and the Seahawks and the Lions are all kind of in.
Well, I saw last night, during last night's game, it showed the whole NFC East was making the playoffs as of then.
Yeah, as of right now, which is I don't think that's ever happened.
No, I was trying to explain that to Rai, who's not a football person. But like I said, this is ridiculous. I've never seen this. And she was, I don't know what that means. I'm like, okay, so the worst team in the NFC East is making it over the second best team in any other division in the NFC.
Yeah. And if there was a fifth team in the NFC East, they would make it, except for the fact that the NFC South has to send their division winner, even though they're going to be under 500.
Yeah. Well,
you're going to get a 7-9.
The NFC East has been sending their sub 500 team for a couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, as a wild card, yes, but you're going to get an 8-9 division winner making the playoffs.
Yes, Frank. Just so you know,
and hosting a game.
Yeah,
that's the sad thing. This team's going to be somebody's going to be going into Tampa Bay to play Tom Brady, who's going to be 8-9 or 7-10 and win a division.
Because somebody's got to win a division.
And that's the weirdness of this unbalanced schedule. I mean, It's
Yeah, I would tell you, I was watching the Jet game, and I didn't even know the quarterback that they brought in. Now I'm pretty.
was that Strevler?
Yeah, I am pretty involved in the depth chart. You know, I try to keep up on who's next man up for whatever, and not a name I knew when they put him on the field. I was happy he was there, but I'm also hoping that Magic Mike White finds that 11th doctor to tell him, you can play with those ribs. Go ahead, man.
And
'Cause we need
we
him.
saw Mike White in action last year in person.
We did.
He's not the same Mike White from last year.
He is not, because
There's a lot more confidence in Mike White.
last year, Mike White was filling in while Zach got healthy. He knew that Zach was the guy because he was the number 2 pick. He had the job. This year, Mike White saw Zach play and said, I can win this fucking job.
Yep.
That was the big difference. And he did. But yeah, Strevler, he came in there.
He did a serviceable job.
He did. He looked like he
He's
wanted
better
to
than
be
Zach
there.
Wilson was. Yeah.
He looked like he wanted to be there. Zach has not looked like he wanted to be there all season.
Zach Wilson looks like a scared puppy every time he goes out field. That first
You know
throw
why
he
that
made.
is? It's because he left Utah, came to the NFL, and realized that black people were a thing. And he got scared.
As sad as it is, I don't think. Well, I'm sure he played against black people in college, but
Yes.
that is a true case, and I feel bad for quarterbacks who were taken really, really high in the draft because unless you're a generational guy, like a man, and remember, Troy Aikman's a Hall of Famer. Troy Aikman won a shit ton of Super Bowls.
Yes.
Troy Aikman went 1-15 his first season.
Yeah. Peyton Manning.
It
did
takes
crap his
time.
first season.
It takes time to develop quarterbacks. And I think teams now, for one reason or another, they don't have the patience to let these guys learn and marinate. And
We did. We let him learn. We let him fail. He wasn't learning. The big thing with
by that I mean when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, he sat the bench for 2 years behind Eli Manning.
I say he only came in when Eli looked like Zach. Because Eli was starting to look real bad, and they said, "Okay."
And they drafted Eli Manning. They sat him on. But remember,
Well,
he was the
they
backup
didn't
to
draft
Kurt
Eli Manning.
Warner.
They
Traded for him.
Yes.
Well, they made the deal. Yeah, technically the Chargers drafted Eli, and the
Archie
Giants
said, "All right, he's not
drafted
playing for you."
Phillip Rivers,
Yes.
and then they swapped.
Yes, because Archie Manning was a crybaby.
Well, it worked out well for both of them. I think
it
Phillip
did.
Rivers had a pretty good career in San Diego,
did.
and
Yes.
Eli, whether people like it or not, Eli is going to go into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah.
The man won
No,
2
I don't-
Super
I don't
Bowls.
have an issue
He
with
won
him
2
except for his
Super Bowl
pouty face.
MVPs. I don't think he has I think he just has a what the fuck just happened face. But I think that's what
anything
all
was wrong,
Mannings
so-
have. But he always looked like that even when celebrating touchdowns. That's just that aw shucks thing that whole family has. Peyton had it too, but Peyton threw a lot. Eli threw a lot of touchdowns. Peyton was a generation, but when they drafted Eli, he sat on the bench for 2 years. Remember, he backed up Kurt fucking Warner.
Yep.
So that's what the problem is. These teams are drafting these quarterbacks, but they're not letting them see what professional football is like first.
And the thing,
I
the
think
Jets
you
didn't
have to hold a
anybody.
clipboard. So you sign somebody. You sign
They signed Flacco, who was on his way out. He was like signing Testaverde. He was on his way out. He needed to be the guy to teach you while he was holding the clipboard, but he did not do his job.
Well, then they needed to sign somebody else. They needed to sign
did.
somebody serviceable like Mitch Trubisky or somebody like that. Who
Colin Kaepernick. Much as you may not like him,
They could have signed Kaepernick. That
is the
actually
knowledge
would have been.
base.
Look, I am not one of those people who thinks that Kaepernick is a bad quarterback. For a while, Kaepernick was an incredibly
Yeah, with him and Russell Wilson.
successful quarterback.
Or him and Cam Newton. No, it was him and Russell Wilson. It was him and Russell Wilson came up together.
I think there are ample reasons why Kaepernick has not gotten a second chance. I think a big part of it is there's a lot of people who were put off by him being the face of the protests and all that stuff. But I also think that he played his way out of the league before that by
He did. He was a backup.
turning into Zach Wilson.
He was a backup quarterback when all that happened. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes.
So I would be happy to see Mike White come back and lead the Jets to the playoffs.
I'll tell you who I think, if for one
Tom
reason or
Super.
another, as dumb as it sounds, if Mike White's the starter and you want to keep Zach Wilson as the heir apparent, which I don't know if you can or not,
I don't know.
you know who you sign as the backup next year? Because I think he's lost his
Garoppolo.
job. That's exactly where I was going.
Yep.
It's exactly where I was going.
Yep. 100%.
So that's, I mean, I don't know if you can pull it off.
The guy learned behind Tom Brady.
Pretty good teacher, as much as he's a douche.
Yep.
Guy wins games.
Yeah.
And I can say that because Lieutenant Tom signed off. But anyway, let's do this woo.
Oh, yeah. We got woo news to do now that we've bored everyone to death. All right. So I'm going to hit this drop and I'll come in with the woo, woo, woo. And we'll do that with a tree. Woo's your mama?
I love talking football, though.
I know.
Hello? What's your only girl? You're all I think about. You're the only girl for me. You're all I think about. You're special. Know I love you. Know I love you.
Hi, this is Misha Lake, and you're listening to Mr. Throwback Thursday.
One, two, what's good, yo? This is Ghostface, Staten Island, New York. And right about now, it's time for Woo News with Jamie and Bill. I know what it is. Get it correct. Mr. Throwback Thursdays, Jamie and Bill. You know what I mean? On Woo News. That's what's going down right now. Y'all check this out. Exclusive. Peace.
The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Master Killer, Inspector Jack, You God, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, and old dirty bastard.
It's now time for Woo News with Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Shimmy on it.
Welcome back to Mr. Throwback Thursday episode. Why? Episode 465. First of all, I got two things that are making me react this way. One, you pulled Michelle out of nowhere.
Yeah, I did.
Two, I've been on the private chat the whole time and hadn't looked at the comments lately, and I'm reading what Frank wrote about the Fat Albert and the gang
I
election
would see that.
special. And I could see Rudy being just like this because there was a guy named Rudy who was this.
Yes. I would totally see it.
Frank is killing me right now. Oh, man. This is a movie that needs to be made. This is a movie that needs to be made.
Now you have to read this and then stop before you get to the parentheses.
Weird Harold and Rudy ultimately ostracized from the hood for being right-wing Steve Bannon fans. Oh, God. And then Bill gets caught with, I don't know, Ivanka Trump because he spiked her drink. Because we all know how Bill Cosby does things now, apparently. Oh, God. Anyway, welcome back, Mr. Throwback Thursday. It's time for Woo News. Frank is fucking killing me with this. But this is now a movie I didn't know I needed to see until I just read this little mini screenplay. So start writing, Frank. He spiked her brass monkey. Is that what the kids call it these days? Anyway.
Yes.
Woo News for episode 465. We got two pieces. The first one, when in doubt, we always go with the headline, How High?
Indeed.
Because there's never enough stories about that movie. Clifford Smith Jr., professionally known as, has ironically recalled how he stopped smoking weed while filming How High?
All movies.
He reflected back to the one time he stopped smoking weed while filming with Redman, How High. Of course, the movie stars them as two chronic cannabis users, which I don't think we've done as a Fresh Flicks yet, but we have to
Not
do
yet.
that.
It's on the list.
That movie celebrates its 21st anniversary. It celebrated it on December 21st.
December 21st, yes.
So Meth told the Kitchen Talk podcast, what are all these podcasts and how are they getting these people?
I have no idea.
That
We
after
have a hook to get
That's-
to meth, and we can't get to him.
That after smoking real weed for the first half of filming, they were forced to stop because of how high they would be by lunchtime. He's like, yeah, at first, he goes, hell yeah. And they was like, you guys are so spot on in the morning, but after lunch, you come back, something's different because you're fucking gone.
Different.
The producer, Stacy Shearer, I remember she pulled me to the side and she was like, after this, I'm still going to be a producer. My face isn't on the screen, but I'll get my credit. That's your face on the screen. How do you want to be seen? And he was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, because you are now stepping into being an actor, which Method Man is a great actor. I don't think I've seen him in any movies or shows where I didn't like him or didn't believe his character.
Or thought that he was miscast or anything.
Right. So had he not done well in How High, had he just said, haha, it's a movie about getting high, I'm just going to get high and fuck it, whatever happens, he may not have gotten to become Clifford Smith, the actor.
And the best thing is, he says that's the only time he's ever stopped smoking weed while he was filming that movie, ironically. He even continued to light up when he had COVID.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So file that under irony, like choking on a lifesaver.
Or rain on your wedding day? No.
That's not irony, that's bad luck.
It's coincidence.
Alanis Morissette has no concept of what irony is. Rain on your wedding day is not bad luck. A free ride when you've already paid is poor timing.
And so her understanding of irony is the same as Lennis and Glennis's understanding of metaphors.
And it all comes back. And to a lesser extent, Shamik's, but he didn't write it.
He did not.
But he didn't stop it from happening either.
He didn't
So
either. Which is why I hold it against him. Also a friend of Lions, by the way, that I found out yesterday.
Oh, Shamik?
Yeah.
Very
and,
nice. And Lennis and
Diamond the
Glennis?
Artist.
Oh, okay. Diamond the Artist, too. Hopefully, we'll be back in our graces soon after he takes care of his stuff.
I believe 2 weeks. I spoke with him on Christmas Eve, and he said, no, I cannot make it today, because it's the day after Christmas.
Yeah. Makes sense.
We're going to kick the new year or the show after with him.
Are you always amazed when you find out who listens to certain artists? Like, people are amazed when they find out that, probably more so me than you, are a co-host of a classic hip-hop podcast.
Yes.
Because I'm 52, I'm white, and I look like a librarian.
When Ed Sheeran went on whatever show he was on, he's on The Breakfast Club, and he broke out with the opening to Right Where You Stand by Gangstar. That surprised me. As a musical artist, I shouldn't pin you down to a particular genre. Even if you perform one, that may not be the one that you always listen to. So that did throw me when Ed Sheeran did that, but then I was kind of angry at myself for letting it throw me.
Right.
Because I am who I am, you are who you are.
And we listen to everything.
Right.
Because, like I said, you and I...
T.Y.
To a certain extent, our musical tastes are pretty much the same.
Yes.
You know,
you gotta. I look like a librarian. Defense.
Yeah. So I will listen to my classic hip hop. I will run through some Run DMC. I will run through some EPMD. I will run through some Eric B. and Rakim, but then I will also put on stuff that culturally probably more suits my appearance. Like, Five Finger Death Punch, which a lot of people are surprised I listen to that too.
Yep.
More people are less surprised by the fact I listen to Broadway shows and Josh Groban, and then they find out I listen to Disturbed and Five Finger Death Punch, and they're like, well, that's not real metal anyway. And it's well, but then we also go back to our old Jethro Tull and Molly Hatchet, and
Yeah, no, I would listen to some Mel Torme.
I learned who Mel Torme was because of Night Court.
Yes, I did too.
So that is where I got my Mel Torme knowledge from. So I thank Judge Harry Stone for introducing me to, what was it, the Golden Smog or whatever they. So I you know what? It's funny. I have a friend of mine who listens to a lot of ska music, and there was a time I listened to a shit ton of ska music, like Mighty Mighty Boss Tones and Save Ferris, Real Big Fish, and there was a local band that played that kind of stuff all the time here forever. If you remember Perfect Thyroid,
I have a Perfect Thyroid cassette here.
Yes. So, well, hello, Jason from Los Angeles.
What's up, Jason? Normally I would raise a rum for you, but it's a little early over here. And
it's a little early, yes. Yes. And by the way, I told you I have a new drink for if we ever go back to recording at night. Yes. I will not be drinking rum, but I have discovered, and this kills me as a Jack Daniels drinker, the Crown Royal apple is better than the Jack Daniels apple for just on the rocks. The apple Jack Daniels, I think, mixes better, but man, that Crown Royal one is really, really good. Clowns for Progress. I don't believe I ever have heard of them.
Yeah, they did an album called the U.S. Senate. Oh, sorry, wrong clowns. But no, I will definitely check them out because we listen to everything. But that being said, and this is where there's this long roundabout road to get where we were going. Yes.
Our first article of Woo News for this week is basically, or second article of Woo News is Bob Dylan loves the Woo.
Yeah, which is everybody should, but
so high praise comes from iconic singer-songwriter Bob Dylan, who listed Eminem and Wu-Tang Clan among his favorite artists to listen to.
And I think it's because of the two of them use so many words. And,
Maybe.
and Dylan, being a poet, understands the use of a vast amount of words, instead of the same old words that everybody uses.
81-year-old Bob Dylan asked about the music he's enjoyed listening to throughout the years. Pause. I'll be right back as I'm getting summoned for just a moment.
Pause. Edit this out.
That was the bird. She says hello and Merry Christmas. So,
Christmas.
Anyway, so Bob Dylan has listed his favorite artists who he likes to listen to. The man is 81 years old. He was asked who he's enjoyed listening to throughout the year, which prompted him to share the names of the acts that he has listened to this year. I'm a fan of, and this is this kind of sounds like my list: Royal Blood, Celeste, Rag and Bone Man, who my wife absolutely loves, Wu-Tang, Eminem, Nick Cave, and Leonard Cohen.
Nice.
Anybody with a feeling for words and language, anybody whose vision parallels mine. He said he's discovered music by saying his best finds come by stumbling across the material rather than searching for it. Mostly by accident and by chance, which is how I find a lot of the ones I listen to too. If I'm just scrolling through the XM radio, I mean, there are times where if I'm listening to Rock the Bells and a Jay-Z song or a Biggie song comes on, who I'm admittedly not a fan of, that's when I start scrolling. And that's how I discovered a couple of different artists that I really, really like. And Janelle tells me a lot of the ones that she really likes, too, because she has completely different musical taste than me.
Yeah. But that's how we also used to find artists when we would go to the record store or the tape store. We would just flip through stuff and go,
album covers.
Yeah, this looks cool. I'll grab this.
I remember for a while, too, and it saved me a couple of times. You remember the wall in South Hills Mall?
With the little blue sticker on it?
Yes.
Yes, I was just explaining that to Ian like a week ago. Because his birthday was the 17th. He was over, and then we were talking about it then. I said, yep, So you just put this blue sticker on the back and said, if you didn't like it or whatever, if
Or
you
it
had
got
that blue
damaged,
sticker,
you could replace
you
it.
could take it back. Yeah.
So, but they also used to have the listening stations.
Yes.
And the listening stations would allow you little snippets of different tracks on there just by scanning the barcode off the record. And I remember seeing, album covers that I thought would be really cool, scanning it and going, nope. But then I also remember that's how I discovered Shinehead. Mm-hmm. I scanned that and I listened to it and I'm like, okay, this is different. I like this.
Yeah.
And I ended up buying it there. So
I found him on Yo MTV Raps when they did the Chain Gang rap video.
So anyway, this isn't the first time a gas station we passed. His performers and songwriters recommend things to me. Others, I just wake up and they're there. Some I've seen live. Zach Deputy, I've discovered him lately. He's a one-man show like Ed Sheeran, but he sits down when he plays. Kind of like Mike Rosenberg, who performs professionally as Passenger, who I'm a huge fan of. And if you get his covers album, it's really good. I think it's called Sunday Night Sessions. It's him covering all sorts. It's really great stuff. Not the first time Dylan has given props to hip hop. In 1986, did you know Bob Dylan collaborated with Curtis Blow on the song Street Rock Duet?
I actually did know that. The only reason I know that is because Chris Coombs is a gigantic Dylan fan. And we talked one time, and I said, look, how do you not like hip hop then? He said, they're not the same thing. I said, they are the same thing because he did a song with Curtis Blow. That is the only reason I know that exists, because I was looking up one time and we got talking. I said, oh shit, look at this.
And Dylan has also said in the past to have been a fan of Ice-T, Run DMC, Public Enemy, and NWA. So
yeah,
I could have woken up with my head sewed to the carpet and not been as surprised as I am now. Last little bit of woo news. Even in Christmas week, You God still not very good, and ODB is not alive. So let us
look that song up. It's like a 8 or 9 minute song. It's something ridiculous.
What, the Curtis Blow song?
Yeah.
There's a YouTube video in the article of the song. So if people are interested in it, go to the show notes, MrThrowbackThursday.com. Find this article under Woo News, Bob Dylan Loves the Woo, and you can see the video of Bob Dylan with Curtis Blow.
Yes.
So there you have it. That should drive traffic. We mentioned before, and you mentioned the name DJ Eddie F.
Yes. One of the boys, if you will.
One of the boys, as in Heavy D and the boys.
Yeah, G. T. Roy.
DJ Eddie F has a record that I did not know about, and that is our one and done for episode 465.
Yes. I believe he owns a record label or a production company, one or the other. I have to look that up.
The name of this record is Let's Get It On, the album.
Yes, the album.
And it is by Eddie F. and the Untouchables. Track number 1 is listed as an intro.
It is right here. If John's watching later, it says intro.
It's a 4-minute and 23-second intro.
It is.
But it is an intro, so it can go on the playlist by DJ Introduction. The intro is called Never Again. I think you're right. This should have been Eddie F. Presents the Untouchables.
Yes. Now I'm going to cut it there because that's what I'm going to consider the intro part.
Yes. Track number 2, brought to us by Felicia Adams. Bye, Felicia. It's called Thing About You.
Sound like Carlos Santana. played by Carlos Santana.
You know, it's funny. This one has that R&B feel that Heavy used to rap over a lot.
Yes. Do you remember?
Track number 3. Andre Wilson brings you Had Enough.
I like Gail's comment here.
It kind of did, yes.
It sounded like a Fresh Flicks background music. But who's that? Felicia Adams' defense and Eddie F's defense. A lot of the Fresh Flicks we've done have great soundtracks.
And this just screams 1994 when this came out. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the 1990s R&B was Jodeci and everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And then Jodeci split up and then became Casey and JoJo.
Yes.
Track number 4, a little more hip-hop feel. Pete Rock and CL Smooth with In the House.
Not the Fat Boy song.
In the House. No.
Check it out. Give me my spec. Check it out. Give me my spec. Check it out. Give me my spec.
Hit the lights and I appear beyond the stratosphere. Impeccable function. And if you're pretty, let your lady sleep in Carmel City. Beginning in the day, you're linen hunts for beach fronts to lit blunts. The whole agree with sipping OJ with the Don P. Belts and bring it like it counts to be lutrified. CL is sanctified and women spell me nationwide. You say you want my lips where and I can grab your what? I love your hips, legs, breast, faces with the firm butt. Now feel the muscle when I hustle in the
See, that had nice little 90s.
Yeah, it's CL Smooth.
Uh-huh.
It's DJ Eddie F. It's Pete Rock. I mean, that is the 90s.
That's pretty good recipe for a good track. Track number 5, Mad Drama. Let's bounce tonight.
Feeling kind of good, feeling kind of right. Drama's in this bitch. Let's bounce tonight. Feeling all crazy, head feeling live. Drama's in this bitch. Yo, check the flow. Can I get a witness? A lot of people making noise, but Drama came to rip this. Check the apparatus, the rap status. Can't conduce for props. It's time to see who's the baddest. Yeah, committed to this.
Track number 6, Changing Faces. Moving on.
No, that's not it.
Come on now.
That's it.
There you go. Spotify want to act a fool.
Yep. And we are moving on.
Moving on to track number, I believe, 7.
Yes.
This one's got every heavy hitter on it. Heavy D, Tupac, Biggie, Grand Puba, and Spunk Bigga. Let's get it on. The title track of the record.
It is.
And untouchable funk, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Spunk Bigga just sounds like a Bill Reed lyric.
He kind of does.
That side, east side, west side, your side, my side. It's all about being funky, man. Hey, yo, give me that microphone. It's heavy D, the baritone, and I'm home alone, dig it. And I'm always staying freshly dipped on 1/2 with a don't smoke and a dreadlocks, biz and splits. Okay, it's heavy D again. Hallelujah.
Track number 8.
Mm-hmm.
Heavy D by himself this time. Take Your Time.
Yeah. What's up, my brothers? It's the way love MC Heavy D. Ain't nothing changed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's that old smooth, mellow, type track. Dig it? This goes out to all my peoples up in Mount Vernon. Check this out. Represent. Yeah. Check the vocal book, your radio, it's elegant. Ain't hard to tell, I'm living swell and raising elegant. I'm with the who's and the who's not. I cruise blocks with cruise flock. My style is bug, like the thugs up in the drug spot. I'm a junkie when it comes to funky tracks.
Track number 9, Porsche, Make You Feel Real Good.
What's up, baby?
That's that Jodeci feel right there.
Uh-huh.
Or Shy or Silk or
I can make you feel good.
I wanna get freaky. That's that whole sound.
Yep. Track number 10, Michael Myers and the Body Snatches.
Yeah, Michael
Hardcore forever. No, not Michael Doppies.
Let off the stress from your chest if you wanna. Let off the stress from your chest if you wanna. Let off the stress from your chest if you wanna. Hardcore forever. The Body Snatchers came to
Yo, this nigga scared. Break when I hit like the mafia split. I'm wasting niggas like Joe right in the public, so fuck it. I'm up enough to rip this motherfucker. I want my duckers to fill up 2 buckets worth of mother. I'm a new jack. I live cities like Wesley. Black, my flow is messy. I take niggas like needles in your tire Pepsi.
Like needles in your Diet Pepsi.
That's nasty. That's why they the Body Snatches.
Yeah.
And that's why he Michael Myers, because he killing people.
Michael
Last track on the record, track number 11, Todd O, Rolling on the East Side. This is a bonus track.
Ooh.
Come and take a ride. Rolling on the east side. I said, come on when you're rolling on the east side. Hold on.
I leave the city sets of the east side. I ride while lounging, puffing on the bone.
And that is your one and done for episode 465. Eddie F. and the Untouchables. Let's get it on. There's not a single bit of charting action for this record.
What?
As you wouldn't think, because it's more a relation album than anything. And like
Yes.
we had said, it should be kind of given as a presents.
Yes.
But
or Eddie F.
but
and
not
Friends.
bad. Yes, not bad. Not
No,
bad at all, really.
It's got a Heavy D and the Boys feel to all the Heavy D stuff. It's got the mid '90s R&B standard sound, and it's got some nice guest appearances.
And then we got some Pete Rock and CL Smooth on there, which is always nice. So that is your one and done. Let's get to our record of the week. And our record of the week is going to be a little bit polarizing.
Good.
And the reason I say that is because this thing was released in 2007, but it's from recording sessions back from 1994.
A number.
It's on Searchlight Music, which kind of tells you who it should be.
Maybe.
And it is indeed MC Search. The name of this record, Many Young Lives Ago, but it's stylized like almost like an anagram.
Yes, Mila.
Mila.
That's a child. I'm not
I think it is.
familiar enough with Search's personal life to know his children.
But
I know he's
MYLA, Many Young Lives Ago. The 1994 sessions. There are 10 tracks on this record.
Yes, there are.
Track number 1 is there's 7 MC Search solo tracks and then 3 third bass cuts.
There are, which is kind of why I played this.
So track number 1 is an MC Search cut, and it's just called what?
Featuring Steve Austin.
You would think.
Or Mike Jones. That's who.
What's going on, Paul? Like you ain't know. My resume got a new word to play. It's called what? A word that starts the sentence. Now in sequence. Your mom's wear sequence. Yeah, now you got the angle. So it's time to get lifted like a sample. It always makes me laugh when a brother says something and I go, what?
Track number 2, MC Search joint called Handle It.
Play nothing but funky music, baby. You know why I do that? Why? What? Everything I play gonna be funky.
Funky, funky.
Sit down, stick around. I'm about to rip it out the frame, kid. Same name, but the same game, kid. Ain't nothing changed except the day to day.
Now, what I do know is Search's son is named Miles. 'Cause I've seen him as part of the Search says I've seen his name, but I don't know.
Track number 3, MC Search jam called Get Up, Get Down.
911. Oh.
Listen to the story the drums tell. 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 Listen to the story the drums tell.
Here come the crew with the spotlights, they'll be on the lookout. But if you was innocent, then Waco was a cookout. Took out a few heads when the news said that I'm as dangerous as 2 feds undercover.
Yes, that was a David Koresh and the Branch Davidians reference by saying Waco was a cookout.
Track number 4, Where My Head Is At.
Cool, calm, and collected, but in a second I'm about to get nuts on this record. I'm sick and tired of the BS, my limits pass red sooner or later. Someone ends up in a refrigerator suffocated. Taking a dirt nap, heard that? Nah, not really. I think you're better off popping wheelies than popping shots on your video and thought not flop, flop, fizz, fizz. Wonder what my dick in your mouth is. Maybe selling to...
That was a little bit vulgar. Track number 5, Last One to Fall.
Really? Wait till we get to lyrics. Gather around as I run it down.
Track number 6, You Never Know.
You never know.
You never know. Come on. The days roll along, now that's planned by design. Cut by the time you decide to rest the mind on the mattress, letting 2/3 of your body fall dead until it's time once again to lift the head and watch the life unfold. Looks like a picture book, I'm back to being 19 years old. Running like a flick, sticking close to Makuna controversy, and the only 2-5 was on the back of my man.
Track number 7, Practical Poetry. And this is the last of the MC Search solo records.
Yes.
A little bit of practical poetry.
Knocking on the front door, guess who wanna come in? It's the Searchlight, I brought with me the squadron. Beg your pardon, but you don't know what's been up with me. But I've been dealing with more gang than Atlantic City happened to.
Now we get to the last three tracks, which are all third base tracks. Now we come to the payoff, yes. Track number 8, third base, Cats in the Cradle.
Yo, that's me right there. Yo, bring him to the window. Tell the nurse, bring him to the window. Let me see him. Pick him up. Look at his eyes. Yo, pull his diaper down. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's mine. Oh, shit. Look at little man. My son was born just the other day, came into this world in the usual way, but there was chores to do, and MCs to slay. Learned to walk while I was away, called him on his 4th birthday, and he was rhyming before I knew it. And as he grew, said, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I wanna be like you, an MC just like you. Cats in the cradle with his microphone, Shorty Mom do.
That didn't have the standard third base feel to it. I actually kind of dug that. Track number 9, Out to Bat.
Yo, could you move these velvet ropes to the side? Yo, could you let my man open the door and let him come in and do their thing?
Sound like Drez.
Move the crowd back and let me.
Little bit.
Let me see, I ain't been here for a while, let me be, damn. Since 20, I've been known to bring the frenzy. Silly crack acting fool, screaming fire in assembly. Plenty of times my mom wish I was born a girl, but gave me flame and said, go ahead and light the world. I love hip-hop, I rap, I love the rhyme and spit game. Need a lyric in my head like M.O.P. need little fame.
Like M.O.P.
And final
Little Fame.
Yes. Final track on the record, track number 10, third base joint called Commute.
Yo, a lot of cats, man, they make it in this business, right? Get the plush, get the cribs and the cars, and they forget about the struggle. I'm gonna tell y'all a little story. Just sit down, relax. Turn the lights down. We're gonna talk about that, all right? I understand, I'm gonna take you back. I'm on my 7:10 a.m. from Queens. All aboard, take my usual spot right under the emergency brake cord. How ironic, cause all I wanna do is make my world stop and trade the
That is Mila. Many Young Lives Ago, the 1994 sessions by MC Search, your record of the week for episode 465. What do you think of that record and the fact that it was released?
I like it. I mean, I like Search. I like third base, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, it was released years ago, but I thought it was pretty appropriate we did it now, considering there's just still so much tension and beef between the two of them. But
animosity, if you will.
The 3 third base tracks on here didn't sound like anything off of either Cactus or Derelict's a Dialect.
No, and we asked Pete about a potential third album, if there was stuff out there that could have been put together, and you know, he said that's SK and J Dog.
Yeah. I mean, and did you hear a lot of Pete on those 3 tracks?
No, but you know, I didn't go past the first verse either, so I should have jumped and selected and seen.
But
yes,
it just, you know, it wasn't bad. I mean. We've heard a lot worse on this show, and I do like Search as a lyricist and as a rhymer.
Yes.
I still think the whole situation between the two of them is just really unfortunate, but you know, there's a lot of information we're not privy to, so we just enjoy what we have. MC Search, Many Young Lives Ago, the 1994 sessions, your record of the week for episode 465. Again, no charting action on this record, but that's not a surprise when it's kind of a unreleased almost mixtape kind of thing.
Kind of like the Public Enemy B-sides and
Yes, and things like that. So,
and
we'll
Nipsey
remind
did
you.
finally make it, by the way.
Yes, happy Boxing Day, Nipsey. So the record of the week, MC Search. Many young lives ago, the 94 sessions. Your one and done was Eddie F. and the Untouchables with Let's Get It On. Last week of the year, so last week of your Artist of the Month, Artifacts. We will announce who our Artist of the Year was next week. But before we take our final break, we have an old to the new.
We do.
We heard half of this duo on the one and done. And that is CL Smooth. And he has teamed up with Peter Guns on a track called Highway to Heaven.
She wanna fly private jet through the Maldives, somewhere far just to eat lunch. All chiffon with a nice breeze, don't tease. We go to Bali just to switch it up. Foot in the sand with a deep tan under blue sky. You knew why I move like a rich man from Dubai. Let it sink in and tell me who be looking at cute in a whole Tom Brown sweatsuit. I'ma get it how I feel, always ready, dressed to kill. What's the mood on that yacht, Rima chill? We be shopping over in Paris, do it in Milan, yeah. Look, his and her watches now in a spare. I be far more effective, no need to be possessive. I'm laid back and smooth and she's more aggressive. Baby talk real breezy, let you know it ain't easy. Always say she got her own before she need me. Bags is packed, we sharp and ready to go. Hopping the Cullen and pulling out money to blow. Cartier lenses, seeing the paper is endless. Running through Neiman Marcus and Twin Benzes. Flew to Miami to buy the whole top floor. All of my neighbors are holding $1 million or more. Went from Bottega Veneta to Casablanca. Here's your highway to heaven and I'm your sponsor.
She wanna fly to the Safari Appalachian out in Africa. Pack your bags. We off the jet now, pajamas sipping ace on the balcony. Feed giraffes, look at the waves. Pinky product and slaves, smiling in the mansion, and I got all white maids. Versace umbrellas, drizzle working the colors. African wine cellars, breaking bread with Mandelas. Lunch in Senegal, dinner out in Kenya. I might cop her left and ship it back to Virginia. Surfing with the sharks, running with the chimps. Swore saw a cheetah throwing the kiss at a pimp. She wanna feel the breeze from the ocean, rubbing her back with African black lotion. Let's retire from the room before the breeze goes. My legs hurt, push them apart, girl, we don't even need those.
Bags is packed, sharp and ready to go. Hopping the Cullen and pulling out money to blow. Cartier lenses, seeing the paper is endless. Running through Neiman Marcus and Twin Benzes. Flew to Miami to buy the whole top floor. All of my neighbors are holding $1 million or more. Went from Bottega Veneta to Casablanca. Here's your highway to heaven and I'm your sponsor. If you don't bring nothing to the table, then you ain't gonna eat.
We may argue, but we don't compete.
Say the money on the wood, make the game go good.
Floor seats at the finals where Nipsey stood.
Panoramic views overlook the New York skyline.
Where I was gonna believe the world is mine.
Cause that was not something you asked for, you take. So who is my brother's keeper? Make no mistake. We up in Brooklyn Shop House or say less.
Stay smelling fresh, hitting on a female guest.
I be owning multiple residences, doctors and dentists,
lawyers and apprentices. The money is the emphasis.
To stash it in the walls, stash it in the floors.
As long as what I'm sitting on is long like yours.
I don't lay my own clothes out, my woman do it for me.
CL, PG, the hardcover story.
Bags is packed, sharp and ready to go. Hopping the Cullen and pulling out money to blow. Cartier lenses, seeing the paper is endless. Running through Neiman Marcus and Twin Benzes. Flew to Miami to buy the whole top floor. All of my neighbors are holding $1 million or more. Went from Bottega Veneta to Casablanca. Here's your highway to heaven and I'm your sponsor.
Your old to the new for episode 465, Highway to Heaven, CL Smooth and Peter Guns. What a great track, and I think Nipsey nailed it right on the head. CL Smooth, always dope, mad underrated when we talk about the best, and that track just proved it yet again. That track was pretty fucking good, dude.
Yes.
So I hope everybody...
And I saw, I'm like, shit, CL's with Peter Guns?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Uptown, baby.
So now I was gonna say. So now Lord Tariq's with Pete Rock somewhere, going, "What the fuck, man?" Now, anyway, that was your old to the new for episode 465. CL Smooth and Peter Guns, Highway to Heaven. Artist of the month is Artifacts. Get your thoughts in for who you want as your first artist of the month for 2023, and if you want, you can hit us up and vote for who you think should be the artist of the year for 2022. The only way your vote will be recognized is if you go to MrThrowbackThursday.com, click on that microphone, and hit us up with who you want as your artist of the year for 2022. And if you want to throw a vote in for who you want to see as the first artist of the month for 23, by all means, do that too.
Same person.
They could be the same person. Could be the Brown Hornet. You don't know.
You don't know.
Oh my God. Danger. As we read Frank's little soliloquy, we are going to take our final break, and when we come back, it will be time for Bill Reed's lyrics and an update on the finale of the Fungible Football League, non-fungible football league. So come right on back for Bill Reed's lyrics and football right after this. Frank's really putting us all into this. I love it.
It's his elevator pitch. He's got us captive.
Mm-hmm.
Are you prepared to go right in?
If you want to run a drop and go right into it, I'm all about it.
And do. All right, then let's just keep this train rolling. We'll bring this in with a street. Who's your mama?
Shouts to Soul Brother #1 Pete Rock. Shout out to Jamie and Bill on Mr. Throwback Thursday. Peace and love, baby. Thank you for your support. One love, one love, one love, one love, one love.
He's a sweet soul brother.
But it starts with Bill.
Bill is Preston. It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence. Take Tylenol for any headache. Take Tylenol for any headache. Might offer any cramps. Might offer any cramps. People probably don't listen to the lyrics. But they should.
Welcome to Bill Reed's lyrics.
Welcome back, Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 465, the last episode of 2022. Mm-hmm. We are back for Bill Reed's lyrics, and I've already been warned. So
So I'm going to come over here, and we're going to go to the private Shazad. And I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to send you this lyric. We're going to go back over here, and then I'm going to take this.
Not a group I thought I was going to see at first, but then when you remember who's in it.
Yes, but we're not even going to use him. That's the best part. I want you to scroll down until you see the man who said, "Fuck Compton."
Oh. That would be...
It would be indeed.
Timothy K9? Yes. Not to be confused with Johnny K9.
No.
Both did you see the...
Thrown death, though?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Johnny K9 is actually dead, though.
So is Tim Dog.
So is Tim Dog now, but yes. Johnny K9. Did you see the Vice episode of Dark Side of the Ring on him? I just knew him as the jobber from I didn't realize he was as fucking crazy. And Barry O is brother of Bob Orton.
Yes.
Randy Orton's uncle.
The man with the cast, yeah.
Anyway, I figure I'm doing this whole thing right down to the knock, knock, knock. Is that what I'm doing? Okay. I haven't read it. I just scrolled
good.
down to see how far I was going. So,
Well, then with no type of ado,
why should we ever? It's been this whole year. There's been no ado.
No.
Let's not bring some in the last week of the year.
Sesame Street Grover style, whether nearer or further, we will cue the motherfucking piano.
Ha ha, ha ha. I'm the sex man. Tim Dog, 10-incher rated X-Man, swinging and swinging my dingaling in pumping that ass until your back starts stinging. You had enough? Rough and rough, give me all of that good stuff. Huh? Your pussy getting sore? Ha ha. I'ma fuck it some more, and just before you reach your climax, throw your leg on my shoulder and cold wax. Because I don't like to fuck mild. Yeah, baby. Fuck me wild. Because I'm Tim Dog. And the DOG stands for doing it on the ground. Yeah, baby. Get on the ground. Get on all fours. Bark like a dog, baby. Arf, arf. Arf, 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 arf. Aight, aight, aight. I know it's good. I know it's good. Yeah. Just like Robin Hood, I take from the rich. Huh. And I stick it to the bitch. Jumping off a trampoline straight into the pussy. Sploosh. See what I mean? So all you ladies out there with panties that's wet right about now, and y'all want to do something about it, just dial 1-900-ULTRA-DICK, and the brothers will be in your town fucking shit up.
Sploosh.
Oh, God.
Look at that! Look at that one.
Oh, goodness. Sorry.
Nipsey says, "Turn the volume up."
Sorry.
Fun for the whole Crima family.
Yes. All right. Let's do a quick update on the Fungible Football League, shall we?
On the what?
On the Non-Fungible Football League.
Hello. You play to win the game. Playoffs. I'm talking about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs. I just hope we can win a game.
Hadn't played that one in a while. So.
No. So the Non-Fungible Football League has reached the playoffs. Playoffs? So 6 teams make the playoffs.
Yes.
2 of which get a first round bye. And because we've been recording on odd times, we haven't really updated in the last couple of weeks. Right. So let's go through the 6 teams that made the playoffs. The number 1 and 2 seeds get a bye. The number 1 seed coming into the playoffs, who's that? AJ Brown. With a regular season final record of 12-1-1. Very impressive.
Can I say, I was the first one. I was not the tie one.
No, you beat him.
I felt good about that.
The second seed was No Digsity, which is John.
Yes.
Who came in with a record of 9-5. So he got the first round bye as well. Our third seed, CJ Uzomagod. Danger.
And did you see CJ Uzomagod got 2 touchdowns a couple games
I
ago?
did.
Dude hadn't had
Came in third place with an 8-6 record. The 4th place team was Nick Chubb Rock, which happens to be me, who came in with an 8-6 record.
That is a respectable record.
The 5th place team was Pitt Squad, which is Hugo, who came in at 7-7.
Okay.
So 500 record, and in a very tough league this year, a 500 record is very respectable.
Yes.
And the last team that made the playoffs, Check Yourself, which was Becca, who came in also at 7-7.
Very popular drink.
So, and it still is. So the quarterfinal round, who's that? AJ Brown and No Digsity received a bye. Your quarterfinal matchups were Nick Chubb Rock, me, the 4 seed, taking on the 5 seed, which was Hugo, at Pitt Squad. And in a hard-fought battle, I defeated Hugo 137 to 118.
Former multiple-time champion.
Yes. So that's a feather in my cap, taking out a multiple champion. The other quarterfinal, the 3-6 matchup, you versus Becca. And you took Becca out 102 to 68.
To the woodshed.
That set up this week's matchups. Now, our buys had to play this week.
Yes, and they appeared a little rusty, did they not?
They did. Who's that? AJ Brown. The number 1 seed goes up against the number 4 seed, me, this week. Whereas the number 3 seed, CJ Uzomagod Danger. Takes on the number 2 seed coming off a bye, and that's John. Well, seedings be damned. The first semifinal, and I was the underdog. I have taken out the number 1 seed.
Yes, and I told him why he lost.
Because he did not give you Ramondre Stevenson earlier this year, and
Yes.
karma's a bitch.
Yep.
132 to 124. It all came down to Tyreek Hill not getting in the end zone for me, which is fine. So 132 to 124, that's going to put Nick Chubb Rock, me, in the
finals.
In the final, in the big game at the end of the year. I will be facing the other host of this show, which a lot of people seems to think is collusion.
Yes. It
But-
has never happened.
But Jamie came out and took John to the woodshed, 123 to 89, as CJ Uzomagod Danger pulls off the lower, beating the higher seed just like I did. So, the championship match for the first time in the history of the TBT Fantasy Football Non-Fungible Football League is me and you, my friend.
Yes, it is.
So bragging rights will be up, and
Mr. Throwback Thursday will win.
We'll win. We will
One way or
win,
another.
indeed. So, good luck. I actually, I don't care who wins this. It's bragging rights for the show. So,
$4, which will probably go back into the
yes, I was going to say, either way, whoever wins, we've already agreed we're donating to the show account. So, congratulations, sir, on making it this far. I look forward to a spirited game. The 5th place game in the championship bracket, the Pitt Squad, Check Yourself, 5 versus 6. Hugo beat Becca to come in 5th.
Gotcha.
Now there is a consolation bracket. There was a bye week in the consolation bracket. The number 7 and 8 teams had buys, while Dr. Tim took out Ron EJ, and Ian took out Felicia.
Whoa.
And then coming into the semifinal week, the revenge on Lazard City, who had a bye, which was Manny, was very, very angry at not making the championship bracket. So he put a ass whooping on Dr. Tim this week, 150 to 117. Meanwhile, Ian took out MC Aiden featuring DMW, which is Sanket. So the championship bracket is set. The consolation bracket final is set. And the Felicia winner is Felicia.
Yes, no matter how we look at it, because we did change it last year. to be the last place regular season record.
Right.
But she ended up losing and becoming last place in the league after the playoffs.
So
too.
she secured it very, very easily.
Yes, I will get her address for you so that you can mail that out.
So we will not have an update as to who won in the first week of January because the games will still be going when we record.
Yeah. Unless
we will
have
give you
somebody who it's possible.
It's possible if there's that big of a blowout.
Right, but I don't expect that.
I don't expect that either. Plus, I think most of us will still have people playing on Sunday when we record next week.
When we record in the morning, yeah.
So, good luck, sir.
And to you.
It's going to be fun.
It is. Give me something to watch these oddball games that I don't
Yeah, and a little bit of friendly trash talking between the two of us like we always do. But
we always do about this time.
Again, the 3-4 seeds. This is going to be a good matchup.
It is.
I will be going for my second championship in this league, I believe. I won it a few years ago.
I don't know. You haven't held the trophy since we had it.
No. And
because you were a
three-time Felicia winner.
Consecutive. That was the hard part to overcome.
No, and
So
I
you
finally
could
did
go
it.
worst
So
to first.
I could go worst to first, which we've seen before. So
I mean,
good
I
luck,
think
sir.
that's my lineup just to guarantee that, just so we can have the true story.
Well, you can't get your Raymondre in there, so that's fine.
I know.
Fresh Flicks coming up on the 30th.
Yes,
that is Friday.
That's a thing that we do.
That is the thing we do. So I'll let you pick a movie. Patrons can get in on that. We can hold up to 10 people in the viewing room. So
Yes.
Jamie, myself, and 8 patrons can join us for a movie viewing on Friday night.
Yes.
So that's it for this week. I believe it is time.
That's it for this year.
For
So
the
if
hat
you would-
change?
Yes, for the final time this year, if you would please go from Bill to Phil.
And before I sign off, I want to say thank you once again to everybody for a passable 2022. There's a lot of shit that happened in this year that was not enjoyable. Thankfully, the show was here to take our minds off of a lot of that shit that was not enjoyable. The losses we suffered.
Enjoyable.
All of you have been enjoyable.
Except for Cranky.
Even he's enjoyable in his own cranky sort of way. So, Bill has changed into Phil. The Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast is an official affiliate of the World's Strongest Coffee, Death Wish Coffee, which was in the Razzmatazz mug this week. Thank you, Linda. You as well. Happy New Year to you.
Yay.
The World's Strongest Coffee, Death Wish Coffee. Find them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or at deathwishcoffee.com. Place your order and use the code TBT to save 12% off your order. Def Rugs, friends of the show, defrugs.com, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Def Rugs. Handmade, high-quality, hip-hop themed rugs, and we are always happy to be with you as well, Sarah. Thank you so much. At Def Rugs, so go check out defrugs.com and see their great work. Our friend Heather Lent is up in Schenectady, New York. She has the Bittersweet Candy Company, where she makes candy and chocolate that is handmade, small batch, different, and
delicious.
Go check them out on Facebook and order at bittersweetcandy.com. Use our code THROWBACK. Save 10% off of your order at bittersweetcandy.com. Melted Mics, MLTDMICS.com. The man who created the greatest theme song in the history of hip-hop podcasts, Pumice T. Mendola, also runs Melted Mics. He makes hip-hop themed t-shirts there for selling, which are really, really cool. You should go check them out. And you can save 10% on your order there if you use MR Throwback Thursday as your discount code at checkout at Melted Mics. Etsy.com/shop/geek like you, where the geek shall inherit the earth. Geek like you on Etsy. Pop culture and hip hop themed items from the sick, twisted mind of Mr. Throwback Thursday himself and his sick, twisted wife, Mrs. Throwback Thursday. Go check them out. Go to Etsy, search for Geek Like You, where the geek shall inherit the earth. Social media network time for the show. We've mentioned a couple times the homepage of the show, MrThrowbackThursday.com. Go there, click that microphone, leave us a voicemail message. Tell us who you want as your artist of the year for 2022. Tell us who you want as the first artist of the month for 2023. And we look forward to hearing from you. You can also check out the show notes. click the show notes. You can see that very interesting combination between Bob Dylan and Curtis Blow if you go in the show notes this week. So go check that out. That's at MrThrowbackThursday.com. You can follow us on Twitter. Jamie is the_MR_TBT on Twitter. I am Bill_MR_TBT on Twitter, which is also my Instagram handle for the show. Jamie's Instagram, MRThrowbackThursday. Go check us out on the socials. You can also send us emails to MrThrowbackThursday@gmail.com. It is shout-outs time.
It is.
We are going to start our shout-outs with the one and only Gail Dunmeyer. And then Manny Baez. And then Sarah Henderson. And John Henderson. And Hugo Gonzalez. And Sanket Patel. And Teresa Lynn Simple Luxuries at teresalins.com. And Clay Arsenault. Jason Eckert. The Shrieking Warrior, Jennifer Buchanan. Jacob O'Neill. Jason Heath. Paulie Tibbert. Chris Kinsley. Jessica Walker. Deshauna Townley. Shane Hatley. Ricky Schnarr. Kenneth Elsfelder. Mr. Cranky Pants, Brian Hollenbeck. Robert Jeffroy. Kate Harvey. Mark Merriam, who joined us very early in the show today. Catherine Liska. And Ken Dwinell. They get mentioned every week because...
or more.
If you want to get your name mentioned every week, the easiest way to do so is become a patron. Go to patreon.com/MRTBT or MrThrowbackThursday.com. Click on the little link that says become a patron. Now, you may get mentioned other ways if you say or do something really funny and we want to bring you up, but that is the only way to guarantee you get mentioned every week. Our friends in the industry, we mentioned Anthony Imran and the Rug Boy over at the Jock and Nerd podcast earlier in the show. We thank them. Go support them. Check out our friend Talking Ty on her show, What's the Word podcast, and her page, Brooklyn Ty NYC, because she's still NYC at heart, even though she's living in Virginia now. Her son will be your way with the new Jack City live event in February, so I hope you go check that out.
I'm going to try, yes.
The hardest working turntablist in the world is DJ B. He's a good friend of ours. He's also the proprietor of Freshtopia and Fresh Radio, and you should go pay attention to him at itsfreshradio.com and the Fresh Radio app for your phones, regardless of what type of phone you have. Go check them out. You can listen to us every Thursday from 6 to 8 a.m. Eastern on Fresh Radio, and then follow that up with the All Request Show, where you may tweet your requests to DJ B at Real Fresh Radio. So make sure you do just that. We also want to mention our friends at Wild One Radio at wildoneradio.com. We air 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time there. And then depending where you are in the world, you can listen to us all throughout the weekend on wildoneradio.com. Do not forget to subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Go find us. As always, your input helps our output. Reviews are always welcome. Share the good word. We are getting very close to our 9th anniversary show. Getting ready to head into year 10. We couldn't have done it without all of you. We thank you. We wish you all the happiest and healthiest of New Year's. Please be safe. If you go out to celebrate on New Year's Eve, please get a driver so that all of our posse is intact going into 2023. The last thing we need is a fresh in peace involving a posse member. So make sure you do that. But in the meantime, have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Take good care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands.
Wash your butt.
And until next time, keep it classic.
And like Cool Keith says, kleptomaniac, a rhyming psycho, a Ricky Ricardo, a Guy Lombardo.
And always remember,
new school stale. Oh, we got to do that one over again. I had to mute it. Let's unmute that joint. All right. New school stale, old school fresh.